on this. What?
Usually in studio mode, it shows like the audio source I hid in the scene, the sub scene, but it was deciding not to do that today.
We're just off to a great start.
Okay. I also thought VTube Studio also immediately crashed. So, the thing
As it tends to do.
The thing I said where like this can't have any more technical issues than yesterday did. I might have shot myself in the foot.
Oh no! You committed one of the classic blunders.
Yeah, I did the classic blunder, and I believed it stuff. Also, I need to go AFK immediately. So while I'm doing that, why don't you introduce yourself and
introduce myself?
Yeah, I assume everybody here already knows the wonderful Ricki Hirsch.
I mean, you never know. I'm not that popular. I'm not as popular as the wonderful moon robot Iz Machina.
I was gonna say Moon Rabbit's a different person. He usually just watches the stream.
Yeah, I know. I caught myself there. I know too many people know the name Moon. Let's see. My name is Ricki. I am also a person who streams games on this wonderful website of twitch.tv. I am also I'm a pretty big fan of Columbo lately. That's been a project that I guess has kicked off in my own Discord. So we have been doing a set of kind of weekly nights of getting together and watching Columbo, and that's kind of what brought us here. So Iz and I are going to play one more thing, which seems like a pretty excellent game. I'm actually very excited about this, and yeah, should be a fun time. Beyond that, yeah, I'm not sure what else to bring up.
You filled for the exact amount of time that I needed.
I'm so good at this.
You're pro. Twitch TV and Twitter's own Ricki Hirsch.
Yeah, I should post my links, but I can do that later.
Your Twitch link is at least in the stream title. So
oh, it is incredible.
So if somebody has somehow missed following already, they can correct that right now. And I will know if they're not correcting it.
The real bummer is that I have to have those underscores on my Twitter because the singular Ricki Hirsch is taken by a German COVID denier.
Oh boy. Oh.
So if you ever want to know the lore for why I have those underscores, that's why. I know, right?
Well, I don't think I can top that as in terms of trivia of why your handle is like that.
I think yours is very good. If I do say so myself.
The only flaw on mine is that nobody can pronounce the first name portion of it ever.
I mean, it only took me like 3 collaborations before I got it right.
Okay, I'm used to it. I almost spelled Machina with the Polish like lettering, which would make it even more impronounceable.
Yeah, that would make it pretty difficult.
Go 2 for 2, first name, last name, both entirely incongruable on text.
I mean, that would actually be very powerful. Just go all the way in.
Oh, you're right. I need to rebrand already.
Hey, I mean, you're coming up on, let's see, I see that I have 11 months sub to you, so you're coming up on 1 year.
Yes.
What better time could there possibly be to rebrand?
My year anniversary was in like the end of March, actually, like 20 something or the middle.
Your time wasn't immediately sub to you? Wow.
I mean, I couldn't have you can't. I don't have affiliate.
Oh, that's right. You have to get affiliate first.
Yeah, you have to jump through the hoops. You have to go through the Twitch circus. Much like you have to go through the wrestling circus if you want to be a wrestler.
I'm going to declare clown shoes.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, it's there for a reason, I guess. I was going to say, you brought up Columbo, and yeah, I started watching Columbo like in the middle of season 1 when you guys were watching it in your Discord. And I immediately caught up on all the episodes I missed, and now I'm sitting on my hands waiting to watch more Columbo, so I'm just watching the Rockford Files instead.
I started watching The Prisoner.
We have to get a handle on Tom and get past Lupin a little bit.
Yeah, we have to speedrun Lupin so we can get back to Columbo. Oh. Or at least before I start watching Murder, She Wrote, because that's there's no going back from that one.
Well, I guess I could get to the subject of the matter then. Since we're talking about Columbo and other TV directed detectives,
Detectives.
We're gonna play one more thing. A game of murder and injustice, written by Nathan D. Poeta. Why did I get small?
I love the cover art.
The cover art
just coming in like Miss Frizzle as she's throwing away the knife.
She does have like an incredible Miss Frizzle energy. The thing that I was going to say about this was that I wanted to get you to do the wrestling tabletop, but that kind of requires more than 2 people to make functional. However, the guy who wrote the wrestling tabletop that I like, Worldwide Wrestling RPG, he's also the guy that wrote this. So we happy accident into playing one of his products anyways.
And you know what? We could still just play the wrestling one some other time.
True. There's nothing stopping us. So the one thing I didn't consider when we had our pre-production meeting about this was how quickly do we segue into the actual act of the playing of the game?
Well, I think so. We have done a little bit of pre-production because we are professional streamers.
Right.
And so I think so. We have kind of come to the loose conclusion that I believe we want to. Is it okay if I let the settings slip?
How about we walk through the start of the rules, and then once we get to the point where we say we're doing it on the fly, we'll reveal the setting.
That sounds good to me.
So
all right.
I'm just going to read through the introduction here and get through some of the immediate rules. So, somebody's been murdered. The murderer, motivated by passion, envy, or greed, is surely to get away with it. The detective is on the case and quickly sees the truth of the matter. Both of them know the murderer did it. The question is how to prove it. This game starts with a murder. As you play, the detective discovers clues and sorts through them until there's enough evidence to bring the murderer to justice. The murderer does what they can to throw the detective off the scent. They know full well what they did, and they don't know what evidence the detective has. The drama plays out through the view of an imaginary television audience who's turned in to see the murderer brought to justice. The murderer never gets away with it, but they can control how the audience sees them in the end. Justified in their crime? They have no way out of an untenable situation, or did they take life in cold blood for the own material gain? When you play one more thing, you will tell compelling stories of murder and justice, inspired by TV detectives such as Columbo and Rockford and Miss Fisher.
Yep.
So this is a tabletop that endears to recreate playing one of those detective TV shows. So 2 players take care of the murderer and detective. So I'm going to be rolling the murderer today, and Ricki is going to be playing the detective, the Columbo.
That's wonderful.
See, I swear I pulled that off of someone else on your Discord before.
Oh.
It is recycled content.
It's still very good. It's still very good. Recycled content is still good reheated. I'm
being carbon neutral with my jokes.
You want carbon credits on your content.
So we'll be going back and forth. For simplicity, the rules is called detective and murderer. I skipped a part, I feel. So once we've established the detective and the murderer and the murder, the game proceeds through a series of scenes, alternating between the 2 players. We'll reveal clues, adding or casting doubt upon them, and we'll raise or lower the sympathy for the murderer. This is just tracked on the audience perception meter. It's just a fun tracker that shows the audience, the fake audience, not the real audience that's watching us on Twitch today, which a copy of here. They'll see how the audience perceives the murder as we progress through the mystery. There are 2 play modes. We have on assignment, which is prefabricated mysteries, which kind of makes the game play out more like a board game, but it's still, because of some of the random nature and how the game plays, with the clues being shuffled, it's still like it is unique every time. So we could play the same prefab generated scene or prefab generated mystery a dozen times and still have a different thing every time. But today we're going to be playing the writer's room, where we create and play out a case as our own entire conception, which I think is fair game, because we both want to do a specific scene that is not going to be here in the prefab.
Yes, and also I think time and history have shown that we are two people that are absolutely obnoxious together, and I'm so excited. The psycho frame is resonating strongly.
Intensely around the Columbo ring. So the audience perception is just it's not a there's no hard rules in this game. This is just a story-driven game. We will use some dice at the start, and then the dice will go away forever, and we'll just be playing with a simulated bit of note cards for tracking the clues. Which will be our evidence. So they will go up and down as we play out the scenes for the murder. We will slowly reveal clues. Clues will either be submitted as evidence, which we will use to convict the murderer, or they will be discarded because the murderer has pulled something clever and led this clue to a dead end. So we can go straight down to the bottom.
Yeah, so we've covered
the on assignment.
We've talked about, yep, and then we have this, so going on assignment.
Yeah, so we'll go straight to the writer's room stuff. So
his room.
Choose who's going to play the detective and who's going to play the murderer. Each player takes their respective character sheet containing the prompts for making that character in that space. So if you were to search NDP, one more thing, I will grab the link at the end of the stream. You would be able to find these nice little character sheets that have the murderer and the detective and some of the criterion for making the character. And then once we get started, we will do all this other stuff. There's also the online tracker that I showed you. So as we're getting to making the detective, I think the concept for the detective will play out the entire rest of the plan.
Mm-hmm. So should we get into it? So basically, we have a loose concept, and then that's going to go along with a little bit of RNG, a little bit of random number generation as well. So there are 3 things that I will now be rolling for: an affection, which is a weird mannerism or signature that is something that defines the character. So I'm going to roll for this here, and what am I going to get? I got 2. Which means that the detective is going to wear a monocle, designer sunglasses, or do you want to roll it and have the drama there?
I feel like
let's just roll it on here. So we have the visceral recreation of the tabletop experience.
Okay, are we rolling off the monocle, the glasses, or the Pince Nez glasses? What is Pince Nez glasses even?
I don't know either. Are you Googling it?
Yeah, I'm just Googling it.
Wow, so smart.
Oh, it's these funny little round glasses.
Oh, it's the funny little round glasses. That's pretty good.
Well, part of me thinks if you're still going with the same concept for the the detective, the matching thing has to be the designer sunglasses. Some big wraparounds, I think.
I'm thinking like big wraparound aviators.
Yeah, I think that might work.
Mm-hmm. So our detective is going to be sporting big wraparound aviators. And now let's see, rolling for our approach. What is the big wraparound aviators that the detective never takes off.
Never.
That's the signature.
Can't be
Wear
seen
the sunglasses at night.
Can't be seen without his glasses.
I can't be seen without my glasses. All right, so approach. Do you want to tab over and do a roll and see what?
Yeah, we can do that. I personally think it's going to end up. A 1 would be ideal, but let's see what the dice do.
Let's see. What do those dice do?
A 6.
A 6.
Psychoanalytical.
Oh boy. Well, I feel like that was a destined outcome.
If thou say so. I think the beauty. I always say the thing for tabletops is that it's just an outline, and if we don't want to do something that it says in the rules, we can just do what we want.
I feel like psychoanalytical might be the ideal outcome, considering my day job.
That might be actually you're the person I would trust to be able to be fully functional with the psychoanalytical approach, actually.
Your first mistake was trusting me, but
Oh, you've never betrayed anybody in your life.
What is what is the position of this detective?
Shall we roll on it once more?
Yeah, let's roll on it. Let's see what happens.
Popped out a 4.
A 4.
A fed.
A fed. Which means that a federal investigator.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Oh, I have a fun concept here. That was the piece I needed.
You already have things percolating?
I have things percolating.
Okay, so then that, I believe, that handles the basis approach for our detective. We have the big check marks.
So I am going to be playing as a federal investigator. And this is my job. This is my area of expertise. That has an expertise in psychoanalytics, so I'm feeling Criminal Minds here. And consistently wears these big, goofy, wraparound aviators that are just so central to their sense of self that they cannot be seen without them.
We're getting you.
I am playing Johnny Bravo. I'm playing somewhere between Mulder and Johnny Bravo.
You know, I was thinking like we might be approaching the subject of the Fantastique, where if the sunglasses are removed, the detective just vanishes.
Yes, we are.
Just enters a state of stasis until the glasses are returned. So that settles the bullet points for the detective. Then I guess we should move on to the murderer. This is written in the Columbo jive, so that the murderer is always somebody who's wealthy and has like that. And also
which means that you are bourgeois.
Yes. Which apparently wasn't intentional on the Columbo writers, but I don't believe them saying that.
Wait, was it?
They said they had only done it as to contrast against Columbo, who is.
So they did it on purpose.
They did it on purpose, but they weren't saying like, oh, the rich aren't evil. It's just, our hero is a goof, so we need someone staunch and professional. The rich definitely aren't evil. Please continue paying to make our show.
We love our executives.
So for the murderer, I have a pretty strong sense of concept for who the murderer is and what they're like. But there is a whole like involved process similar to the detective. So I think if I was doing this entirely by the book, you would roll for a social strata for the murderer, and then roll for kind of where they sit in that strata. So it would be 2d6, because this orders them nicely. Throw both of them at the time. So 1 and then 3. So they would be in. Why are these not in? Why are these not in the? Oh, here they are. Someone. What was it? 1 and 3. Tsar.
1 and 3.
And a popular fitness guru, which doesn't particularly fit with my concept.
Why don't you fudge it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fudge it. I think we go somewhere more like. This is the other thing. It's like, where exactly would this idea sit in? It's someone who could be technically a niche entertainer and also a syndicated broadcaster, but also a business executive, but also sort of.
Let's just say that's what it is.
I mean, wrestling promoter? Just a wrestling promoter?
Just put in a wrestling promoter. That sounds good to me.
I mean, that's kind of like, yeah. Let's go with wrestling promoter.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have no concept of what the murderer is like, so similar to making the detective and the murderer, we have to make the murder. Well, once we know the nature of the detective and the murderer, it's time to set up the crime. So the elements are the relationship between the murderer and the victim, the emotion, how much planning to do, and the cover-up. The murderer rolls on these lists to outline the nature of their act. So we can roll on them all and put them together, or we can build them as we come along in this portion. So the one thing I think would make the most sense is employer-employee for the relationship.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But for the rest, such as emotion, I think that requires a quick roll. Quick check.
Let's do a roll. What's the emotion? Why did you do murder?
Why would our promoter do murder? A Fear?
Fear.
So the promoter fears one of the wrestlers. Why would they do that?
Maybe one of the wrestlers is starting. Oh, I've got an idea.
Do you think we just had the same brain plot?
What? Okay, you go first. What was your brain plot?
The wrestlers are unionizing.
Yes, we had the same idea. Once again, the psycho frame. The psycho frame is responding.
Resonating wildly. I need a whenever I do collabs from now on, I need to get a psycho frame button where I can just cause green sparkles and the funny new type noise to go off. Okay, so clearly one of the wrestlers is going to unionize and is struck fear into the heart of the promoter. Then we have to move on to how much planning. Again, this will just be another quick little roll. A 2. Premeditated. Roll twice on the cover-up. Start with 2 sympathy. I'm immediately going to go our board. We're at 2 sympathy. So bottom of the line here. Set that up. 2. What is the cover-up? We have 2 rolls for... Double 6s.
Double 6s? You want to re-roll one of those? Or does that actually have a thing for doubles?
Let me see. There is no thing for doubles.
Let's see. If you roll doubles, you can either concoct an elaborate double blind, like framing 2 different innocent people. Or... Aha, so there is an option here.
Or just re-roll the duplicate result until we get something different.
All right, so do you want to do an elaborate double blind of destroying key evidence, or do you
I
want
don't
to
know how you
re-roll
would
one of
double
those?
blind destroying key evidence.
Or you can destroy 2 pieces of key evidence.
What if we destroy 1 piece of evidence with another piece of evidence?
An evidence Ouroboros.
The evidence destroys itself.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I don't know how you
crime.
would... I don't know what evidence would be self-destroy or like destroy another piece of evidence.
It's like a burn after reading situation.
Yeah. I kind of want to go for just another die.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So we know you're destroying evidence to just hide your murder of the union organizing.
and self-implication for
Yeah.
a lesser crime explains some of the clue. Which I think that makes sense. There's plenty of crime to go around in wrestling.
Oh, there is so much crime. I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I know how much crime there is. I cried a lot.
Oh no. That is the unfortunate other side of Dark Side of the Ring, is that it is the dark side, and it's very upsetting sometimes.
I mean, I knew what I was getting into.
Okay. So let's continue on. Considerations of the crime. So, the relationship, emotion, planning, cover-up. Sketch out everything that goes down. Both players should collaborate on this step. The murderer has the final say on what happens. And then we narrate. So, handful of bullet points to click here. Who do the murder? So there's a wrestler unionizing. Johnny the Corpus. Venice. No.
Do you want me to use the wrestler name generator?
Oh, there's a wrestler name generator?
Yes, there is.
Okay, hit me up.
All right, I'm gonna click a couple times, and we're gonna see what we get. All right. Okay, this gave me a duplicate. That sucks. All right, here we go. Caesar, Birdman, the Pursuer, Mercury, Boom Boom, the Hippo, the Devourer, Rogue, Mercury, and the Anaconda.
Oh, the Anaconda.
The Anaconda's a good one.
The Anaconda. Johnny, the Anaconda Venice.
Yes, I love this.
Is attempting to unionize the wrestlers, and he gets murdered. Clearly, the why he's getting murdered is because he is trying to unionize. I noticed.
Taking some notes here.
The problem is that my, I can turn this off. Actually, I don't know. I just need to remember to click out of VTube Studio because sometimes I'm doing it on purpose and sometimes I'm not. I have a real problem with scale where I'm trying to make sure that I'm approximately the same size as Ricki.
Well, it's difficult when you're really like 6 inches tall.
All right, well, good collab. Thank you. Thanks for coming here. I'm out of here. Annie completely threw me off of my pattern here.
I can't believe I've been silenced for truth.
What do you do to get out of it? The question is the secondary crime. What is the cover up?
You also have to commit a lesser crime.
Yes, the fake crime to conceal the real crime of the murder.
I'm thinking, oh, here's a good one. Let's say you as the promoter were distributing illegal steroids to your wrestlers.
This is the lesser crime technically. Okay, so I couldn't have murdered him. I was busy getting the steroids. I think that works.
Or perchance.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I took a big sip of water, right? I'm thinking about the method of the murder. You could potentially, maybe it's an overdose. Maybe you switch the steroids with something else that caused Johnny the Anaconda Venice to have a heart attack or something like that. And so you're trying to admit yeah, I provided the steroids, but I don't know why he had that heart attack.
That's good. That makes much more sense. So that handles all of the other stuff. Oh no, I'm having the high school. I have to speak in front of people. Brain freeze.
Oh, it happens. Don't worry.
So the cover up then to conceal the crime. Would it just be the switcheroo? Hand over the steroids, or secretly replace the steroids with another injectable?
I'm thinking,
Because to think ahead a little bit, toxicology would reveal what else was in the system.
Well, you could say, let's say I as the investigator am pressing you. You're saying, well, yeah, I was providing drugs. That's why, maybe he was doing, but maybe somebody else opted out or something like that. You admit that it's I was providing X, but X is not what killed him. And so my job is then to find out that you were actually the person that gave him the funny steroids or whatever else it was that actually caused it. Or maybe you killed him in some other way and framed it to look like an overdose.
But it was the most poorly framed overdose possible. Yeah, he overdosed, but why is there a 6-inch incision in his rib?
Look, these kinds of things happen. It's wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah, part of me thinks doing a really bad cover up makes the most sense. He overdosed on a knife.
Does that knife?
See, now I would think that there's a different, it's a blunt force trauma like the back of the head, and then it was covered up with the drug stuff. And say there's like a missing barbell from a gym set somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's apparently it's been missing for months. Nobody knows what happened to it.
Yeah, we just can't afford to replace those things. Times are rough here at this promotion.
And yeah, it's hard times. Just we lost the biggest earner. Things are on the downturn. It's just a small family business.
A small family business. Broadcast on national television.
Every once in a while.
All right, so then we're thinking the crime is the murder of Johnny the Anaconda Venice for trying to unionize. Your motivation is to stop the unionization. The steps that you're taking to conceal the crime what you wanted your main thing here to divert is that you're trying to admit that you were providing steroids to try to drum up the show and build up business. But in reality, that's a lesser crime because you literally killed someone.
Yes. The crime was actually a blunt force attack, but it was covered up with a drug overdose to match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe he was doing drugs and maybe he went too hard on it and he fainted and he hit his head on the way down.
Oh, that's even better. Because then
a great murderer.
Then the barbell doesn't need to be missing at all. It can just be there and covered in the wrestler sauce.
The wrestler sauce.
I mean, that's what's gonna come out of his head when he hits the barbell.
It's wrestle sauce.
Exactly. It's the ragu. It's the.
Did you just call that ragu?
I did.
Wow.
I mean, it's red, thick, and viscous.
I was gonna make a pizza tomorrow, but
I mean,
I'll still make a pizza tomorrow.
I mean, just make it with white sauce. That's definitely not wrestler sauce.
That's robot sauce.
I guess
I've seen Alien.
You've also seen the Metal Gear Solid 4, so.
Yeah, the white sauce is robot juice.
I thought me making a joke about shafts 2 days ago was gonna be the most upsetting thing I've said on stream today.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh dear, Ivy, I'm here now.
Oh no.
Bad things are going to happen.
Oh no. Okay, so we have the rough outline of the murder. We'll start with the murder. We were establishing background, drama, everything. So let's say this is mid 80s. A wrestling promotion in, say, New York City or the New England area.
The general Northeast.
The general Northeast. They are coming down from a big upswing in business. Currently, they always sell out shows at their main venue. Things are always busy popping. Have a nice intro where, say, we get the B-roll of one of their shows. Wrestlers working in the ring, you hear the cheers of the crowd, all authentically promoted, or all authentically provided, like Big Van Vader on Boy Meets World. We can open with that, and then we will cut our way into the back. We would watch from the man talking on the headset next to the ring, announcing, saying, "Oh, what an amazing maneuver there from Johnny the Anaconda Venice. He's really murderizing Mick Mercury. This might be it. 1, 2. He did not get him. He did not get him. And we use that as to establish our two main characters. We have Johnny wrestling in the ring, and we got our promoter acting as the commentator ringside. I need to should get a name for the promoter.
You want me to randomize a name for you?
I mean, if you would.
Let's see. Let's get a. I'm gonna pitch a couple to you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. There were some duplicates there. Okay. Greg Eckhart, Joe Darwin, Lou Sawyer, Peter Heath, Brad Horn, and Adrian Gold.
Adrian Gold? That's a
Gundam ass name right there.
That's definitely a wrestler name. Adrian Gold. I swear I've heard Adrian Gold work the territories at some point.
It was down in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I would not doubt it. Definitely a Smoky Mountain gimmick sounding name.
There's gold in them Nar Hills.
Exactly. So after we get our little bit of work on screen of Johnny and Adrian, we fade to let's say the office in the back at some point, long after the show is run. What would be the right way to arrange this meeting? Actually, I think it would make sense if, because we need a scene where they have a bit of a dispute about the union, or where Adrian finds out Johnny's plans are picking up some steam with the boys. The boys are talking. According to one of
Mick Mercury is talking.
Mick Mercury is spilling. He's talking about he's one of Adrian's boys, so he's spilling it about how Johnny's got this radical idea where all the wrestlers should disclose their pay and work together to collectively bargain for more benefits.
Like healthcare.
Yeah, like that healthcare. Like, don't forget.
Like any healthcare.
Any healthcare at all. Because right now these boys, they're just independent contractors. They're getting ideas above their station. Adrian hears about this, and I imagine he's just, where the hell is that son of a bitch? Johnny Venice. Where is he right now? We gotta hash this out. I don't want the boys finding out what you're making, Mick. They find out what you're getting, they're gonna ask for a cut of all that. If I gotta pay them what I'm paying you, then you're not getting paid what you're getting paid right now, Mick. And I think pretty easily Mick coughs up where Johnny's the gym where Johnny works out at. So we find out, like, oh, did anybody else know where that gym is? Any of the boys having to work out there? No, it's just a nice little hole in the wall where Johnny works out and keeps away from.
It's Gold's gym, and Adrian is very upset that he's not getting paid over it.
I think Adrian's like, they motherfuckers, they call it Gold's gym. I'm Gold. I'm Mr. Gold. God damn it. This is copyright infringement. They'll hear from my lawyers. There's an entirely unrelated Gold's gym that Johnny works out in. Keep away from the marks. Nobody has to see him. Nobody bothers him for an autograph where he's working out there. Of course, he's hitting the juice at night. You know, those wrestlers, they run late because they're on the cocaine. So once Adrian finds out there, he takes his car, he drives over down there. He knows he's gonna sort this out. Not exactly how he's gonna sort it out. He's got some ideas, but he doesn't want it to come to it just yet. When we get the cut of him driving to the gym, he's looking a little pensive about it. But he peels out into a parking spot, goes up there, muscles his way in. You know, I'm Adrian Gold, god damn it, you gotta let me in there. That's my employee, my beloved employee, Johnny Venice.
Is Adrian a big guy? Huh? Is he a big guy or is he just a little guy?
I think he's broad, but he's only a little over the average height. Like he'd be a little intimidating.
But he's still just a little guy.
Yeah, he's not a big. He couldn't cut it as a wrestler. He's simply too short to actually be a wrestler.
Did he try to be a wrestler?
I think that might make sense. Like he definitely had some of the interest in it, but you know, his dad had the business dealing, so it made more sense for him to work in production as he inherited the business, or he came upon owning the business. But if he could be a wrestler, if he could just be out there, he knows he'd be bigger than Mick Mercury and Johnny Venice combined.
Well, I like this. He's got the inferiority about it too.
Yes. So he storms up there. He's like, "Hey, Johnny. Hey, pal. How don't we just have a little talk? I hear you've been a little upset with how you've been being paid. You know, we can hash this out. We can up some of your cut from the merchandising deal, Johnny." I'm not entirely sure how Johnny would react to gold though. I'm not sure like what his attitude should be, like if he's just like, I had enough of your shit, gold, or if he should just, play it cool.
I'm thinking, so I am trying to picture this, and I'm thinking he's like mid bench press. And he's got Johnny the Anaconda Venice is a big guy.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a lot of weight on that bar. And he's mid press. And then Adrian comes up and he's huffing and he's puffing. But you know what? Johnny's a union man. He's not gonna budge.
Oh yeah, and I think it'd just be a good time, though, just to try and at first Sorry, Rena made a typo in AutoMod. Assumed she was saying a slur.
Thank you, AutoMod.
Thank you, AutoMod. So while Johnny's mid bed press, Adrian picks up one of the other barbells, and he doesn't like use it as a weapon just yet. He does, like, he gets behind Johnny. He's just doing curls, idling as they talk about, like, Johnny, you can thinking about putting the strap on you, and he's just doing the curl like right over Johnny's head, where he brings his hands down. And he's almost like gonna clock Johnny with it, and Johnny gets heated over it. He knows what Adrian's trying to do here. He racks the bar up real quick. He sits up and he gets in Adrian's face, and they have a shouting match.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick, like, I ain't budging on this, none of this shit, Adrian. I'm talking to the boys. I got half of them already know what I want to do, and half of them are on board already. Just when I talk to that other half, they know what they're gonna do. So when Johnny turns around, Adrian realizes that, like, this isn't gonna work. There's no way he's gonna talk Johnny out of this. What he has to do, he has to go with the final solution, the ultimate plan here to stop Johnny, and he just clangs him in the back of the head with that barbell. And he's got the guns with it. It's not a small barbell. It's someone that got only like someone at least a bit fit. So not your average Joe Schmo could pick this up.
It's like a 45 pound.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's pretend I know what barbell weights should be. So yeah, he clocks Johnny in the back of it. Johnny goes down like a sack of potatoes. Is just laid out on the floor. And this is when Adrian realizes, all right, we gotta go for the backup plan. So he pulls out the handkerchief, he wipes off the barbell, he puts it back where on the edge of the rack for the single weight there. Make sure it's the last one on the row. So it's actually like out of sort. So, and then he picks up Johnny, drags him over a little bit, make sure he looks like the arc lines up right where Johnny would have slipped and cracked his skull on this. But this isn't the full the full cover up. He has to go back out to the car and get the other things he needs. He needs to frame this like Johnny was completely coked up, and he has to make sure that the steroids are there too. So he does rifle through Johnny's bag real quick, make sure he's got the needles for the steroids. He does. Not a problem there. So he just sort of tips it over.
Every wrestling promoter just has on hand. It's like just a bunch of needles.
I mean, yeah, he definitely has just cocaine in the back of his car at all times.
Ready to go.
Yeah, sometimes you need something to pacify the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And this time he over pacified the boys. So he needs to.
This was premeditated, right?
Yes, this was
so like
this was the part of the plan. He knew it could either go either one way. He could either intimidate Johnny out of it, or he'd have to deal with Johnny right here and right now. And since he knew, he already got the clearance that there was no other boy here. There was just the guy at the door who was on his way out, wouldn't let him in. Nobody should know that he was there. So this is clean of a timing to get Johnny alone to do the job. So it was premeditated, but it wasn't entirely part of the plan the entire time.
So no one saw him.
Yeah.
It's just him and Johnny in the gym.
So him and Johnny in the gym. Like, there was just the one guy, like, near the door that saw him come in. So he thinks, all right, I gotta gotta get out of here real quick. But he needs to plant the rest of the evidence, the stuff to make sure that it looks like an overdose and an accident that happened at the same time, or an overindulgence that led to an accident. So he goes out the front door. He yells at the guy that saw him come in to make sure he sees him leave. But he gets in his car and he peels out. He goes around the block, comes back in on the alleyway, finds himself a back entrance, stuffs his pockets full of a bag, a dime bag of something, some mysterious white substance, and he makes it up to the back door. Gets back into the gym, drops the stuff that he needs, makes sure that the cocaine was there in Johnny's bag as well. And then I think he has one more look around, make sure the perfectionist in him says, yeah, this is good shit. This is exactly like this should look. And then slips back out the way he came out through an open window somewhere. This is kind of a real crummy part of town. So there's definitely got to be a window open somewhere where he even in his suit, he can get in and out and then make the proper exit. So,
he doesn't catch his suit on anything or anything. It's just still pristine.
I mean, it could possibly, or there could be. He does.
I'm thinking maybe the suit gets caught on a latch. Maybe leaves a little bit of. Oh, here's an idea. His name's Adrian Gold. I'm assuming that he has custom suits made that have a gold-colored fabric on the inner lining.
Ooh.
And maybe it gets caught on the window latch and tears a little bit. So there's a little bit of golden fabric that's left there on the window.
I think that's a good thing. I think we're getting into the next part. So we have our lead up. We have the murder, the rough idea of the murder, what happens, who gets killed. We're getting to the point where we're making some clues. So let's see. Let's get back onto the rules here. We narrated what happens. We've set the stage for the game. We've been given some material to establish some clues that the detective leaves in the investigation. Now that the scene is over and the players have both created clues based on the murder, which is where we skipped. Where did the rule for making the clues go?
Let's see.
Oh, here. It's beneath, of course.
Of course it is.
As the murderer narrates the murder and the detective adds details or asks questions, the players write down one clue each on 4 clue cards. Clues are significant details of pieces of material evidence the detective will use to put the case against the murderer. Here's the basics. Each player makes 4 of them. The detective creates clues that they will be interesting or tricky for the murderer to explain away. The murderer creates clues that they will think will reveal interesting elements of their character or be a compelling part of the story. Clues must always be true. They all should reflect something presented in the scene or the backstory of the crime. Do not make a false or intentionally misleading clue. And clues are secrets. So we don't consult each other when we're making the clues.
So this is red text.
Yes. Clues are red text, to speak in that parlance. So this scene should end with 8 clues. And then we will be shuffling these clues around, but that's not actually what we're going to do here. We're going to go into this Google document where we have a whole bunch of clues. We have at least 15 that we can make, that we can reveal by clicking here. So, I don't know if you want to take, let's say, the first 4 or the secondary set of 4.
I'll take 5 through 8, if that's cool.
That works for me.
Just because that's what my cursor is already on. Let's see, do I have edit? Let's see, okay.
Oh no, I can see when you're writing there.
You can see what I'm writing?
No, I can actually just write some garbage text and hit return.
How about that?
So now I can't see. It covered itself up.
All right. So so I'm good to go then?
Yes. So as long as you don't need to go back and edit it again, we should be good. I need to go AFK again very quick. So once I am back,
all right. I will be concocting my masterwork here. So let's see. All right. So let's see what do we got to work with here. So there's been a murder. The murder took place at the gym. We know that this is about stopping union organizing. We've got another character. His name is Mick Mercury, because of course that's the most Gundam-ass wrestler name I've ever heard. That could also be a horse name, because Gundam names and horse names are the same thing. And we got Johnny the Anaconda. Let's see, so that's a good one. There also is a Gundam horse in G Gundam. All right, right clue here. I'm thinking.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I was gonna say the other part of the one more thing is like if you mess with this a little bit, I'm pretty sure you can make a pretty good Ace Attorney game out of it. So I was gonna use Ace Attorney music.
You absolutely could. This has intense Ace Attorney energy already. All right, one last one. So Johnny was alone in the gym, but there was one person at the door? Is that what you had said?
Yeah, it's like there's some dude just hanging out. We can come later to establish who this guy was, but we could even say it was a derelict that was just, you know, he saw Gold come in and saw, oh, Gold's got money, I'm gonna panhandle him. And Gold just kind of gave him the business and push pack him.
Yeah. Yeah, as he would. Bourgeois asshole.
Exactly.
Let's see, so let's... So this is set up, Johnny falls away. It's framed like Johnny basically like collapsed and fell over. Let's see. All right, I think I've got my 4.
I need one more.
I'm gonna go back and change this one. I got a better idea.
I know. I have to.
I'm on fire.
I have to avert my eyes because I can see the text you previously wrote.
Oh no. Well,
it's fine.
Well, forget it because that text sucks.
There's a whole top corner of the screen that I can look at, and if the viewers see it, as long as they don't spoil it, doesn't matter. They can see what I'm typing if they have their bit rate turned up high enough.
All right, there we go. That one's much better. I'm gonna go put on some Ace Attorney music myself. I can't hear anything.
I can try sharing my foobar playlist to you and seeing, or not my playlist, but like sharing it over Discord and seeing if that transports the audio over Discord.
It might if you do like a video call and you stream the foobar.
Yes, I
window.
just do like a screen scare. Screen scare.
A screen scare.
Screen scare.
A screen scare. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing a murder. Work.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Screen scare too spooky for me. Sorry, Rowan.
Speaking of screen scares, when are we gonna play Phasmophobia?
I still don't own that game.
With the spooky campsite. We can do spooky Yuryu camping.
I forgot they added a campsite.
We can do haunted camping.
The camping we did was pretty haunted to begin with.
Yeah, the knife with the axe wizard. Okay, so the context of the axe wizard is that Izzy and I decided to play Camping Simulator together, and what we realized was that the game has very broken physics when you throw your axe, and sometimes it just gets lodged in your own head. You just die.
The axe in that game has some interesting properties.
So we kept like trying to throw them at each other because you can also just always revive your friend and your camping buddies because no one dies in the hellscape of Camping Simulator. It's like Elden Ring, no one ever dies. So, but sometimes when you throw your axe, you just like kill yourself, and it's really funny. The number of times I tried to put an axe in the back of Izzy's head and then suddenly collapsed dead. Does the Department of Labor have a logo? Yes, it does.
You should just put that on the tracker sheet at the bottom.
Department of Labor? I got these big wraparound aviators. Actually, wait, do I have aviators that I could put on? I do!
Oh boy.
Those are gonna be great because they're gonna catch onto my hair.
Wherever you drop the mouse is where it will pin to the model. So if you do it over...
Actually fine. That actually looks okay. All right, there we go. I'm a part of the National Labor Review Board. I gotta generate a good detective name too.
So I think now that we have our 8 clues, I guess we probably could have gone here and talked that the good clue reveals the murderer's role in the crime, combined with other pieces of information, but not so specific when Mealy solves the case. So, brown scuffs on the floor. Brown scuff marks on clean floor, which indicate that the murderer wore brown shoes, but not hidden witness who took photos of the killer in the act.
Mhm.
So we don't need how the clue is going to be contributed. So that doesn't matter.
So we can't do the Columbo verse, the Columbo dimension.
Yeah, we
I
can't.
saw you do
We
it.
can't banish Adrian to the Columbo dimension. Our detective does not have the secret Columbo psychic wave.
Before I fold you into the Columbo dimension.
So, part of the game is going to be discarding some of these clues, along with finding novel interpretations of them. But we don't know all the clues ahead of time, so we can enjoy the surprise of unanticipated clues as we play. Finally, keep in mind that the scene is not the entire story behind the crime, so it's legitimate to pull a clue from the background or somewhere else, making the murderer or storyboarding the crime, as long as it plays into the motive at some point or means or opportunity. So we might have a chance to make some more clues depending on how it goes. So I believe that will wrap up everything to do with our murderer. So now we are at the point of the initial investigation.
So now we pull over to we're pulling over to the initial investigation, and so this will be the first scene where we meet our detective, who, according to the name generator I just used, is named Charles Chuckster Morgan.
I'm a Chuckster.
I might maybe name Chuck, but I don't yuck. I'm dead serious when it comes to labor issues.
So should I read through the whole initial investigation? Detective meshes up the audience, shows the audience how they're brought into the investigation and how they find the first clue that makes the suspect a murderer. Similar to how the murderer narrated the murder scene, the detective narrates how they get involved in the case through the audience's eyes. They could start with a walkthrough of the crime scene, a phone call from a distressed relative of the victim, or conversation with a witness. We will draw a clue at random and turn it over. This will be the initial clue. Use it to guide how you approach the scene. You should also use the detective's position to establish the premise, why they are involved at all. Beat cop to be brought in, consulting detective would be like when the formal authorities are stumped. In the case that a clue doesn't make sense, we can return it back to the pile and pick a new one. So it's up to the detective if there are other characters in the scene. Once the investigation is carried out, the detective clue, the detective picks up another scene. So shall we roll to see which clue we will?
Yep, let's get the first clue.
That doesn't work. All right, clue number 1 then.
Clue number 1?
Let us reveal.
We clicked at the same
Both
time.
revealed?
I think we both wrote the same clue. We might be too deep in the same wavelength.
I've completely bonkered up the
Oh no, it's bonkers!
my caption or my capture.
Now we're stuck in the purple abyss.
Yeah, I don't know why it's deciding that it has to zoom in all the way to Oh boy, it's really fucked now. Great.
That's maybe the best sound clip you've ever made. Oh boy, it's really fucked now.
It really is. Hold on. There. Okay.
There we go. All right. So the first clue that we have revealed, that is going to be the centerpiece of the introduction, that the murder weapon, a barbell, was out of order in the rack and of a significant weight that only someone that is strong, quite strong, could lift. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right. Here we go. Give me some investigation music for this.
Give me the main theme.
Yes! Yes! The scene opens. Flashing lights of cop cars have circled around Gold's Gym. It's not that Gold's Gym. It's a different Gold's Gym. There's a dispute pending in federal court.
Not her beat.
There is a chill to the night air. We're in it's quite cold. I'm gonna say it's like maybe November, and the Northeast. A car pulls up. Not a normal cop car. This one's a little bit more, let's just say, well loved. It's beaten up. We're in the late 80s. This is a worn and well loved, say, 1960s muscle car.
Ooh, 60?
It pulls up. Camera pans, starts up on the wheel. Driver's side, front wheel, gradually shifts up. And as we see through the window, as the camera comes up, we see the silhouette of our detective, Charles the Chuckster Morgan. Before we get above the shoulder in the view, we see the Chuckster put on his trademark wraparound aviator shades that he cannot be observed without. They're dark like night and cover the fact that his eyes are very bloodshot because he does not sleep well. Because, well, he's up doing busy detective things.
So he's up too late thinking about his wife.
Thinking about his wife, loved his wife, just a big wife guy.
He's like I can imagine he's like the nega Columbo, where he loves his wife, but he's very worried about his wife all the time.
He's very, yes, that's it. His wife is very ill, and he's always worried about her. No, she's very accident prone. That's it. Just always dropping, always having mishaps, comedic and impossible mistakes. She's dislocated her jaw 3 times while streaming. The Chuckster opens up the door, steps out into the cool evening air, briskly shakes the lapel of his designer jacket that's tightly fitted around his chiseled physique. That's right. The Chuckster used to be an independent wrestler.
Ooh.
As the Chuckster walks toward Gold's Gym, passing by the flashing lights of the cop cars, the camera pans to show a large Department of Labor emblem on the hood of the muscle car.
It's like the Firebird, but it's just the Department of Labor logo.
It's just the Department of Labor logo. Coolly strutting in, an officer. You bring out the Department of Labor logo? Yeah, that's important.
No, continue.
That's important. We need that right there. That's
Ignore me right now.
That's like, all right. I'm ignoring. Okay. The Chuckster keeps walking through, passes by the other cops. Another officer tries to look out. He's a junior. He's new to the force. Sticks his hand out and tries to stop. And Chuckster reaches in to the lapel of his coat, takes out his badge and flashes it. Don't worry, kid. I'm with the DOL. And the kid and this young officer looks very confused why the Department of Labor has become involved. But just kind of casually nods as he looks over quizzically to his superior, who just looks at him confused. They're like, oh, look, it looks real. The guy in. This is a normal occurrence for the Chuckster. Most people are used to the fact that you see this very rare organization within the Department of Labor. An elite squad of former investigators turned labor defendants.
So he's the only actual active agent.
He's the only actual member of it. Some question whether or not this elite unit of labor investigators actually exists, or whether or not Chuck is just making this all up. But he's very convincing, and no one ever actually. People just kind of go along with it. So Chuck starts in and it's like asks where the body is, and the same sheepish rookie goes, "Oh, he's back there, sir, in the weight room." And Chuck nods, and it's like, which is, just very silent, very cool. That's all how you can describe Chuck. Hence the big aviators. So he struts in, looks in. You have a bunch of different cops going around. They're all investigating different parts of the room. They're just casing the joint now. The body hasn't been moved. It's actually been relatively recent. There was a call made by a passerby who had, or let's say another wrestler came in and discovered the body and decided to gave them a call.
Yeah, so you say this is like gotten to like 4 a.m. It's still dark out, but it's technically morning.
technically morning, but that doesn't matter to Chuck because thanks to the thick wraparound aviators that he always wears, it's always night.
Yeah, it's because of his glasses, he does not perceive time either.
So let's say McMercury made the call. McMercury went to the gym, couldn't sleep that night, went for a late lift, and found his friend there. Made a call, and Mick, knowing about the union organizing and all this, that's how the word got out to the Department of Labor, and now Chuck is on the scene. So now, Chuck eyes around the room, looking at these different cops scrambling around, picks someone over, taps him on the shoulder. It's like, hey, what's going on here? The cop looks at him. Well, there's been a murder. Haven't you heard? It's like, no, I just got in. Chuck, no, I just got here. So what's the 411 or the 312 or whatever it is in this area code? And so the cop, this other cop looks at him, well, it seems pretty straightforward here. We've got a doctor come out to investigate, and it looks like, based on the preliminary medical report, we're seeing that there's a puncture wound in the victim, or we wouldn't say victim at that point. The deceased's.
Yes.
Like in the deceased left arm, there's a pretty noticeable puncture wound there. We went through his bag and his belongings. We found a bag of cocaine as well. It seems pretty cut and dry here. It's like, you know how these wrestler types are, always doing drugs all the time. According to the medical examiner, it looks like his heart just gave out, fell down, hit his head. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Then Chuck nods again, man a few words, walks over to the body and investigates. Notices a couple of things that seem a little bit off. Most notably looking at the barbell that the deceased had knocked his head against on the way down when he supposedly fell. Johnny Venice, our beloved wrestler, has actually quite a reputation at the Department of Labor, and the Chuckster is actually a big fan of Johnny Venice. So immediately he recognizes him, and although his shades hide his emotion, there's something there. It tugs at him to see it this way. Now, looking at the barbell, though, he sees that something seems a little off. Everything else on the rack is very orderly, and this is a very reputable gym. People like Gold's Gym. People go to Gold's Gym. And it's interesting, he notes that this one barbell here that he's stuck on is actually out of order in the rack. It's actually upside down, so the weight itself, like the label that says the weight, is turned downward, which is just unique across everything else. Like every other barbell is like perfectly face up and everything. And so Johnny kind of sits down and says, that's weird. Huh. It's a heavy one too. Let's say it's a 60 pound, like Johnny tries to pick it up and can't. His muscles are mostly for show. It's a very heavy one. And as he's sitting here trying to pull up this barbell, like pulling the sword from the stone, he feels a little brisk chill coming around. Like looks around, sees that the window is open, and noticing that the barbell is out of order and would require someone of significant strength to lift it, decides that this might be a little bit, and this might not be what it seems to be, because it's like if this has been moved, presumably someone used it. But if this guy was so hopped up on the special snow, then how is he gonna, like, so much that he had a heart attack? Then how is he gonna have lifted this up to disturb it and to put it down incorrectly?
But I get the feeling that he probably maybe looks around and goes, "Any of you guys move? Any of you schlubs pick this up and move it?"
That's. But he looks like, oh, all right, so the Chuckster looks around, and even though it's very dark with his glasses on, still sees that most of these cops don't seem like they don't have the physique. And like, hey, any of you guys, you move this barbell? Which one of you, like, did somebody touch this? And the cop that was talking to earlier puts his hands up like, no sir, no one touched that. Yeah, I mean, look at us. We're just a bunch of little guys. We couldn't lift anything like that.
It's a room full of little guys.
just a room full of little guys. And so Johnny adjusts his glasses just slightly. Like, huh, interesting. I think that and then the camera pans out, going. It sort of does a big zoom out and goes through the open window on the way out, and then we get a pan shot of the gym through the window from the outside as Johnny and the other cops are continuing to work.
That's when we get the opening credits.
Yeah, then we get the opening credits. The Chuck Files.
All right, so that gets us started. But now we are technically.
What's the episode title?
What did I call this in the deck? You need to be like wrestling with something, like grappling with idiom.
Grappling with the anaconda.
Grappling with the anaconda.
Wrestling with the anaconda or something like that.
The anaconda's vice.
Yes. That's Johnny's finishing move. The anaconda's vice. He has a submission hold.
That is an actual wrestling move. I think it's
I'm so smart. They got it from me.
I think it's a little too like technical for a large guy like Johnny, but it does.
That's how we got his name. Is that he can do the technical holds even though he's a big guy.
I see. So at this point, we are now off to the races. We have Clue out. That's not committed to evidence just yet. And we will be taking turns doing scenes, making our way through the story. So even though Ricki just went as the detective, it will be a detective scene and then a murderer scene, and then back and forth until we have 2 clues lodged in evidence, as I said before. Within that, we have a collection of different types of scenes you can go for. Each has an effect on the clue. 1 or 2 of them have alternate effects you can choose from, and some of them are just you had the scene, so now X and Y are going to happen as well. So it is up to you. Which of
I'm feeling like I'm gonna do an interview.
Oh,
Mick Mercury is out there. He's the guy who called in, and I think that it makes sense. Maybe he's actually on the scene still.
Oh, he's still there. He's being held because he's the material witness, so to speak.
He's a person of interest.
Yes.
All right, I need to make my glasses bigger. Yeah, there we go. That's important. Yeah. Now I'm in the Chuck zone. All right, so we're gonna go and we're gonna interview him. So let's see. So I get to draw 3 of the face down clues and pick 1 to turn face up.
Yes.
Oh, but I decide who I'm going to interview after I turn those up. All right, so let's see. I'm going to turn 3 of these face up. So let's see. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. So draw 3. So I'm going to get 3 random numbers, and I'm going to peek at them. And then I pick 1, and I'm going to keep that face up. So maybe Izzy, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes, Zvi. Or visor, or however it works with robots.
I'm putting my hand in front of the Excel sheet, so I can't read it.
Okay.
I can read it on the stream preview. No, I can't. That text is way too small.
Let's see. So I've got 3 here. All right, I think I'm gonna take the 8th clue. I'm gonna turn that face up here, and that is that proper weightlifting technique shows you shouldn't use steroids until after your workout. And however, the puncture wound was still bleeding at the time of death when the body was found. So it was it was a fresh injury.
Ah, I see. But it couldn't have been happening.
So I'm going to interview the medical examiner, actually. I think that would make sense to do. All right, so we're going here. We're zooming. We cut to black. We come back in. Things are wrapping up. People are heading. All the cops are heading away. It's now let's say it's 6 in the morning, but it doesn't matter because with shades so dark, this is where I live. I live in the night. So we're leaving there, and there's one last person that the Chuckster has not talked to since, and that is the medical examiner. So as the examiner is filling out the preliminary paperwork, maybe this is on a legal pad. The Chuckster approaches and says, "Hey, I noticed that." What's up?
I was just gonna inject. Hello, Mr.
Let me check. Sorry, my glasses are also like freaking out.
I noticed,
and it's very distracting and very funny. this might be Mr. Morgan, Charles Morgan.
Hello, Mr. Morgan. You're with the Department of Labor. What can I do for you today?
Yes, finally someone here recognizes the importance of the Department of Labor in this fine nation. So I have I'm just making my rounds here, taking my notes, and I just have a couple of questions that I'd like to go through with you, just to make sure that everyone's really on the same page. I'm thinking that as the medical examiner, is there anything about this that seemed interesting or odd? I know it's been a couple hours here. I was told on the early end that you were thinking that this was a clear-cut situation, that the deceased had overdosed on steroids and cocaine, had a heart attack and fallen and hit his head. But I want to, just in your own words, that for my observations, for my notes, back at the Department of Labor, where we solve a lot of crimes.
Of course, sir. I can walk you through the crime. I didn't say that. Sorry, I'm so used to whenever time there's a police call, I always think it's a crime. But I can walk you through the incident. Let's say in reverse order. The deceased has a impact wound on the back of their head that matches the indentation shape of the one of the barbells on the rack. However, I cannot confirm precisely if this was a heart attack just yet. However, all indications show that there was something that had caused the man to lose bodily control. Likely a heart attack. We're not ruling out a seizure or anything like that just yet, but something lost the control and he took the fall, landed on the thing then. Nothing else seems too far out of the way. There was some sort of foreign substance that we have yet to have analyzed by the police laboratory, found in a needle, which contained trace elements of the victim's blood as well. The puncture point in his arm, where he would have injected whatever substance this is, was also fresh and still leaking his sauce out once we arrived at the scene.
Leaking his sauce. I see. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know these wrestlers seem to be leaking ragu all over the place. But I do have a question for you. So you said that the wound seemed fresh. Was that it?
Yeah, so I believe the puncture sign was, or the whenever the needle puncture was inflicted was relatively around the time of death, based on what I've observed here.
That's interesting. So I have a follow-up question for you, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course, Mr. Morgan.
As a medical professional, I'm just speaking for myself as a humble agent of the Department of Labor in this great nation. When you are going to go and you have to give blood, right? Wouldn't you say your arm is pretty sore afterwards for a while? Is that a typical experience? That's how I always feel afterwards.
I believe that. Yeah, this is not uncommon to face have a bit of a sore arm, a bit of a herpy arm.
I see.
But these wrestler types, they're pretty tough, aren't they? I'm afraid I'm not much of a fitness doctor. Mostly work in corner business.
Corner business. I see. You can't see it because of the glasses, but Chuck is retreating back into the Mind Palace. Deep in the heart of Chuck's psychoanalytic psyche. He's weighing all of these concepts. Wait, this doesn't make sense. The Anaconda is a big time wrestler. He's been at this game for a long time. The Chuckster used to watch the Anaconda back in the day on Tube TV back in the territories before he made it big. And it's weird that this guy would take a suboptimal choice. That he would inject his steroids before his workout, knowing he must know that was going to give him the tender arms, and he wouldn't get the adequate amount of pump before his promos. I think that's a good way to get the clue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we end the scene drifting into the Mind Palace, and it zooms back out. It's like the camera zoomed in on the shades, and now it zooms back out, and the Chuckster is like making motions and doing the whole Sherlock scene, and everyone else is just kind of looking on confused.
So the whole room is moving. I was more thinking like he's just like frozen in place doing in his Mind Palace, and the whole room is just moving around him. Well, he's like still in that seat where or like standing exactly where he was talking to the coroner, but the coroner is just, they've loaded up the body already and everything's moved on, and he's just standing there thinking. He's chucking those ideas around inside of his head.
Nope. I like it. Yeah, he's frozen in place. Everyone else is wrapping up, and the rookie he was talking to earlier is about to turn off the lights and leave the place, and knocks on the door, and it's like, Mr. Morgan, are you coming? And that's the end of the scene.
Perfect.
So now we have a murderer scene.
I have a murderer scene, so. I think, because I only have 4 options here. I think
so you can go deeper. You can just kill someone.
I kill Mick Mercury too.
No!
Oh, I can't murder Mick Mercury. He's the biggest draw the company has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should probably check where the sympathy marker should be. Now that we've
I think we set it up that it is. I think it starts at 2 with what you had rolled.
Yes. We have no evidence yet. Oh, wait, that's clues and evidence. So yeah, it starts at 2. So right there.
So you are coming off as smart and callous right now. Our virtual audience that is unlike the virtual audience that we actually have. Our fake virtual audience
thinks our promoter here is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulled it off so far. I don't think go deeper would make too much sense yet. We said that Mick Mercury was the guy that found the body, right?
Mick Mercury was the person that found the body, yes.
So I'm trying to think if it would be a good cover-up too. That would also utilize Mick Mercury, so I wouldn't have to come up with a third wrestler.
I mean, we have the name generator.
Oh, you're right.
We have an infinite number of wrestlers that you can murder.
Okay, give me a handful of names and let me see if I can come up with an idea off of one of them.
Oh, here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna give you a handful here. Pretender Doctor, the Unforgiving, the Clam. Let's see, the Clam, Ghost Kicker, Veterinarian Sergeant.
I think I gotta go with the Clam. So
all right, I'm down. The ghost kicker and the clam.
So I think at this point, we're coming off of the second point of the cover. Let me add a new clue and add it face up. Let me just uncheck this one. Actually, I could do the scene and then add the clue. So we're coming off the scene. It's similar to the same time of day. Like it's 6 a.m. now. And we're pulling off of something. We're as we pull out from the Chuckster at the gym, we reposition into a different part of the city where we pull in, and our boy Adrian Gold is just face down on the floor in a room with a bunch of other wrestlers. It is the aftermath of a party that night after the big show. Johnny, after a big show, he would hit the gym, but a bunch of the other wrestlers, they'd be up all night until they run out of steam. So, as Adrian is pulling himself off the floor, some of the other guys that are waking up was like, "Oh, yo, when did Mr. Gold get here? I don't remember when he was doing the party." I'm like, "Oh." The other one chimes in. He's like, "Yeah, he showed up sometime late last night, and he just jumped right in. He looked like he was already worked up when he came in. But he was here all night with us. Why else would he be waking up?" Nobody has their watches on. They're trying to figure out what time, Adrian came in with them, but they have no clue. Adrian's getting up. One of them, he's like, "Yo, Mr. Gold, when did..." He's like, "Well, goddamn it, call me Adrian." The clam and the ghost kicker. So
Clam and the ghost kicker.
What are you talking about? What have I got here? I pulled you guys out of the mix last night. You were partying too hard out at the club. Don't you guys remember? "No, what are you talking about?" "Yeah, Clam, I know, he always get into that chowder. Get way too rowdy. Can't have any of my guys causing any trouble around here. Don't want you getting into anything. So, make sure some of the other agents keep tabs on you when you're going out. Heard you guys needed some guidance, so I came out there, picked you up, dragged you out of that chum bucket. You and Ghost Kicker. Sometime, I think it was around midnight. I don't remember. But after that, you guys remember we were there. After that, where did we go?" He just kind of feigns dumb, where he doesn't know exactly where they went, because clearly he got in on the partying as well. His gold suit is all disheveled. Maybe a little.
Suit is all disheveled. All right. And
maybe a little roughed up. His immaculate hair is clearly all undone as well. His normally gorgeous bouffant is.
So he's moved on to phase 4 of the Vince McMahon phase.
Yes, he's gone. He's like busted open. He's got his own blood stains on his face. Like he was going really hard at it.
Oh, they went real hard.
Yeah.
Can I chime in?
Yes.
And be the other people?
Yes.
Right.
You're welcome to be the clam or the ghost kicker.
I got the clam or the ghost kicker. So it's like I'm a ghost kicker. I'll be the ghost kicker. So ghost kicker comes in I'm kind of rubbing his head. He's like, "Yeah, I think we left the club and we went to that 24-hour hibachi place, right? I think that's what happened, right?"
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because when we got in there, I had to ask if they were still serving steak at that hour. They had
Yeah, and they had that whole. They did that fire with the onion thing. That seemed dangerous to me.
The volcano?
Yeah, the onion volcano. That's what it was, boss. Thank you. Thank you. This is why we need you over here and looking out for us.
Ghost Kicker got real worked up when they got that volcano.
Ghost Kicker. Yeah. The Ghost Kicker tends to, get a little bit
a little jumpy
overzealous.
around.
Yeah,
around onion volcanoes.
ever since that Hell in a Cell match with the pyrotechnics.
I told him that was not. It would never happen again. I assured him. That's why I was with you guys. So,
it's a good thing that you were there.
No, he has the PTSD.
You never know when there's going to be an onion volcano somewhere. I hope that doesn't catch on. That seems dangerous.
I told, after it happened, I told Rodney not to smash Ghost Kicker with that onion. Told him he was allergic. I knew he was gonna break out in hives. I understand. I came out to see you guys there at the 24-hour hibachi. Why am I getting clown shoes for onion volcano?
24-hour hibachi? Well, I guess that was my idea. But all right. So we got there. So now our Adrian Gold has successfully convinced Ghost Kicker and the Clam that they, because none of them have any memory of this, that they went to the 24-hour hibachi place and then came and crashed.
Yeah, and then after that, Adrian was with the boys the whole time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so they have no memory of that, but Adrian is gonna. I see.
He was there, but the time just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so the time doesn't make sense. He's like, so he joined at the 24-hour hibachi after the time of the murder, but he's trying to tell them that I know he was there much earlier at the time the murder did occur. So he's doing a lie.
He's doing a cover-up.
He's lying.
Oh, with the cover-up, we've added a new clue, and then we can increase or decrease the sympathy based on the natures of the action. And clearly, this should be a decrease.
I think it should be a decrease, although he did save the Ghost Kicker from his fear of both onions and fire.
He does look out for his guy. That part is that's factual. He is not bullshitting that part.
The Ghost Kicker had a terrible onion pyrotechnic experience and was not prepared for the volcano.
Yeah, I think I've accidentally made him a little more sympathetic.
He's I'm getting the vibe that like his heart is in the right place. He does at some level care about the wrestlers in the production, but he doesn't want them to unionize. He can't have it. There's he's got to compete in the ratings now with his greatest nemesis, and they're losing the rating war.
Yeah,
they lost their biggest star.
Yeah, they lost their biggest star to Fred Ferner's wrestling organization. His wrestling organization.
His the WRO World Wrestling Organization.
Okay, so we have that clue now. I think that would throw us back to you.
It throws us back to me. Okay, so the last time that I let up that there was Disturbed, and that that we had an issue. I interviewed the medical examiner and found out that it didn't really make sense that a professional wrestler who's also an experienced weightlifter would inject himself with steroids before working out, because it's the recovery, and also that would make his arm sore and he wouldn't be able to lift as much. So I'm thinking I'm going to go for an interrogation.
Ooh.
I think I know this guy died. I think I know that he's a wrestler. I know that he's working for Adrian Gold, and I'm thinking that I am going to head to the offices. And let's see. So in this case, I can either introduce a face-up clue into evidence, making it central to the case, or I draw 3 face-up clues and pick one to turn face up. I bring them to the murderer's attention by asking them a question or confronting them with the evidence of the new clue. I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw 3 face-down clues so I can pull another one up, and then I'm going to start looking to commit stuff into evidence.
Okay, I'm going to go AFK while you make that choice, so that way I can't see.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. So that's 1, of these three, let's see. Ah. All right, let's see. The only other. Let's see. I'm thinking about. Let's see. I think I've made my choice. That the cocaine found at the scene of the crime was actually flour, though trace cocaine residue was found inside the bag.
Ooh.
So we're gonna enter this into. We're gonna lead this in. I'm thinking. We fast forward a little bit. We've got some action going on here. The clam and ghost kicker have left. And we now are sort of at the start of the workday, and the Chuckster knocks on the door of Adrian's office.
All right, and
knock, knock, knock.
Hold on a second, pal. Yo, I mean, there has to have gotten past the secretary already. You know, the usual scene, like, Mr. Gold's, asked nobody to see him.
The Chuckster just materializes. The Chuckster just materializes.
It just materializes past, like, fucking. Of course, the door doesn't answer, of course, immediately, because.
The Chuckster is also like a vampire and has to be invited into offices before he can.
So in that case, then I imagine that he's just gonna keep knocking.
Yeah, let's keep I want to keep some of the great Columbo paranormal mystique.
Columbo is the Chaos Goblin, so.
The Chaos Gremlin.
Okay, so in that case, yeah, I imagine he keeps knocking, and then
yeah,
you just hear behind the door. God damn it! I fucking told I didn't want any meetings, and you come up to the door, swings open. What do you want? God damn it!
Looking right back at Adrian Gold is the thick, characteristic black aviators of one Chuck Morgan of the Department of Labor. Reaches into his suit pocket, takes out his badge, flashes it. I'm sorry to disturb you so early in the morning, sir, but I'm with the Department of Labor, and I think there's some things we need to talk about.
I know Adrian he has that wide-eyed, sort of slack-jawed, like, what's going on? Look, or he definitely be something you'd put on the camera. He looks down at the badge. He looks up at the Chuckster, kind of narrows his eyes a bit. He's like, "Wow, see, I apologize, sir. See, with the federal government, what can I do for you, pal?"
Well, I have I don't know if have you been notified by the local authorities, or I don't know. You might want to sit down, sir.
No, come in. Let's talk about this here in private. I suppose it seems like it's very serious. I don't want the help to hear.
Yeah, at the Department of Labor, we take things very seriously. So I have the unfortunate responsibility of breaking the news to you that we found Johnny Venice, the anaconda.
The anaconda.
The anaconda, yes. I don't know how to tell you this, sir, but the anaconda is no longer with us. The anaconda has finally loosened his grip. We found him today. It seems that early this morning, he took a tumble in the gym. It seems like there was maybe some substances involved. We're running some reports now to find out what's going on there, but it seems it might be. I lean in very close and whisper, "Cocaine."
See. Well, I told Johnny to get off the stuff. He wouldn't listen. Told him to use our facilities, but he just wouldn't. He had to do things his own way, I guess. All the way to the end.
Wow. You seem I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I'm very sorry for your loss. Even I knew about the anaconda. It's a big part of your promotion.
One of our best superstars. He was a real piece of work on the canvas and on the screen.
He was a great talker. I love that classic promo he cut about the coffee with the coffee creamer. It's excellent.
No, he made that up. He did that all on his own. Just looking at that coffee creamer, coming up with ideas. He was a great mind.
No
Some
kidding.
say he was thinking always a little too much, but sad to see Ricki won't be thinking with us anymore.
Well, there is some. I'm gonna say this is the 80s. I'm gonna get a beep on my pager. Beep 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 beep. I look at it. Sorry, I need to take this call, and I'm gonna take out my big 1980s gigantic cell phone.
You're not gonna use the Adrian's phone? Like, can I use it? Do the?
No, I'm gonna take out the giant cell phone. And I'm gonna dial my number and say, yeah, mm-hmm. Well, I'm afraid, there's been already some misinformation here. It seems that it was not cocaine we found at the scene. It seems that it was actually flour of all things. I know.
What?
Curious.
Well, that is pretty curious.
Well, it seems that there was cocaine residue found in the bag, but according to our toxicology screening here, that was just ordinary. It wasn't even actually ordinary flour. It was bread flour specifically.
You can overdose on bread flour?
No, not that I know of, sir. I'm thinking that, I don't know. You're saying that you told him to get off the stuff, but that's curious, huh?
Well,
is a wrestler walking around with a bag of flour in his bag? Maybe he got.
No, I don't know. That's very strange. I don't want to spoil some of the magic we do here. We make movies, so you're a federal investigator, so I believe I can give you a peek behind the curtain. I believe Johnny made a mistake.
Johnny might have been duped.
Saying if he didn't overdose on cocaine, it's likely the bag that he had on him. So see here when one of our bad guys tries to make a dirty trick in the ring, sometimes he'll throw a handful of powder into the face of his opponent to blind him.
Yes, the pocket sand.
Exactly. So I imagine, Johnny was no slouch in the dirty tricks department. I imagine he just simply got his bags confused.
It's interesting. Is he? I'm gonna sit here, touching his chin. Chuck retreats back into the mind palace again. I'm imagining the anaconda that he grew up with in his youth was an honorable and fair wrestler who would never resort to dirty-handed tricks. Johnny was a face.
Johnny was a face.
And he hadn't made a heel turn. But then, why would he have that? Was he planning a heel turn? Could this be happening? More importantly, if he was looking to, why would he bring it in his gym bag? It just doesn't make sense. And if he didn't even have cocaine with him, then what could he have possibly overdosed on that would have caused a heart attack?
These wrestlers, they're on all sorts of amphetamines and painkillers and things like that. You never know what'll have effect where, it's not like I tell my boys they should fly right. They should just take their vitamins, eat their red meat, stay on the straight and narrow, but
yeah, say their prayers.
Exactly. I don't know about that.
Well, it seems like you're on a tight ship here. But and thank you for the clarification here. But it sounds like there's some more questions to be asked here. So it looks like but could I ask you, I know that this is I've been told this might be a little bit of a secret, but I've heard just through some discussions here at the Department of Labor, where we discuss important matters about everything labor related, that was Johnny planning? Were you all planning on having him turn heel, I think the term is? Now, I don't mean to insult you, sir, but I've heard some rumors that wrestling might be scripted.
Look, this is between us, you and me.
You and me, sir.
Wrestling is 100% reality. There's nothing fake about it.
Oh my God. I knew it.
The boys out there, they go out, they do put everything on the line every night, every other night. To earn their purse, so I have no clue what you're talking about.
All right, it must be just a horrible rumor out there. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to, I think I need to go back and check with the boys.
What do you mean, my boys?
No, my boys. Back at the Department of Labor, different boys.
Okay. So, make sure your boys and my boys don't mingle. We don't want this boy town getting out of hand.
I understand. And all right, but now you do understand that in the course of my investigation, I might need to talk to some of the boys. Your boys, not my boys, but also my boys. And maybe your boys will have to talk to my boys. We're gonna get a big boil down. We're gonna go down to Boys Town.
Some of this is getting too crazy for Boys Town. But we have too many boys here for Crazy Town, so.
All right, I understand. Thank you for your time, sir. And I'm gonna, and then we can end the scene.
Just one more. I'm gonna one more thing, you buddy.
Just one more thing.
One more thing, pal. The boys get a little restless when you bring up that wrestling might be predetermined. I'd be careful with what you say to them.
All right, I will be very careful with what I say to the boys.
And then I think we can.
All right. So now we've got, we've entered a new piece of evidence that wasn't actually cocaine in the bag, that was actually flour. And even though there were traces of cocaine residue found inside the bag, we now know that the reason that was there is because Johnny the Anaconda Venice was planning on making a heel turn.
Yes. Oh. The bag definitely belonged to a wrestler. Or someone in
somebody else.
The business. Who could it be, though?
Who could it be?
Okay,
all right, well, I think we have a... So that was a... So now we go to you?
Yes.
We're going to go to our murder scene?
Now, my turn to pick a murder scene. Let's see. What do I want to do? Just had a conversation with the detective. I feel like I need to triple down on the cover-up. Just keep making up more shit.
Keep adding more cover-ups.
Oh. No, I got it. Give me another. Maybe maybe it should just be.
What's it gonna be, IZ?
Okay, I have the idea for the scene. I'm not entirely sure how to put it together.
All right, what's the idea?
So the idea is not a full murder, but it's an attempt at murder.
Okay, so an attempted murder and going deeper.
Yes. So he's, let's say, it's later that day. Normal business goes upon. We get a silent shot of Adrian conducting the wrestling. A talk with some of the locker room guys. The Clam and Ghost Kicker are there because they're buddies. Laying out the.
I love the Clam and Ghost Kicker.
The Clam should have a really northeast or a real New England accent on him, but I don't know how to do that.
I was thinking he's very mid-Atlantic.
Oh,
he's all about Old Bay. Puts Old Bay on every.
Okay, yes, you're correct. So he's all about that Old Bay. So they're having the booking meeting. They're talking about the plans for the future. And after they leave, they're leaving the building. Clam and Ghost Kicker are having a chat about close together. They're whispering. They're talking about can't believe really, Johnny's turning heel. That why did something happen to him? I don't know. I can't do a mid-Atlantic accent either. I'm bad at accents. I just have impressions that are also bad.
Impression is talking about Yeah, that is a rough one. It's
it's
JFK.
Just JFK.
That's pretty mid-Atlantic. You can say, yeah. Ich bin ein Mariner.
Ich bin mein Mariner. Nothing ever bad.
Nothing better happens to the Kennedys.
Nothing bad ever happens to the clam. That's why, so they're just talking business, and then all of a sudden, as they're crossing the street, a car comes tearing out of the parking lot for the building, flies by, nearly clips the clam, like literally, if it wasn't for the clam being a high-flying guy, that car would have caught him and clipped him.
Mm-hmm.
But he jumps out of the way and the car speeds off. This car nobody's ever seen before. And nobody has any clue. Nobody gets the license. Nobody sees really what the car is because it's gone. But clearly there was a swerve at the clam. Someone was trying to get the clam.
Mm-hmm. Someone trying to get him to clam up.
Yeah, exactly. So the car peels back, and we resume. The ghost kicker picks up his boy. They're going, oh, what the hell was that? That was definitely the murder attempt. And the camera spins around and catches the car peel around the corner to get out of the way. And we get back into the scene in the car. There's a guy in a luchador mask that is yet to be revealed so far. But pretty quickly when he pulls that mask off, that's Adrian Gold under there. Looking pretty smug with himself. Making it look like somebody's trying to off more than just one wrestler.
I see. Okay. So now, I like the scene. So now, what are we gonna do here? So let's see. So we each compose and add a new face down clue. Am I reading this right?
Yes. So we decrease sympathy by 1. And then you and the detective each compose and add a new face down clue drawn from the narration of the new murderer. You can remove clues from evidence that have been impacted by or made irrelevant by this murder attempt. Then decrease sympathy and evidence by 1 for each clue that has been removed.
All right. We don't have anything in evidence, so we just each add a new clue. I'm gonna add 1 in the 11th bar.
Okay, then I'll go to 10.
Yeah. I gotta make sure I don't look at the preview. All right, I got it. I got my clue written.
I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
I'm gonna have to just kind of keep my eyes shut here, lest I spoil a potential clue for myself.
I can still see your clue.
Oh. Oh,
My brain.
Oh no, your brain!
My database is shutting down in real time.
Oh no. Alright, well, I got my clue done here. And I am just generating wrestler names. These, some of these are good. The Boatman.
The Boatman!
Macho Monster.
The Boatman is the Clam's arch nemesis.
Yes, the Fisherman. And his gimmick is that he throws a net over his opponent. So, just to recap while you're putting this together. So we have the Anaconda, who has been murdered. He has been murdered, and we now have some suspicious information because in the opening scene, Chuck Morgan, the Chuckster, realized that this barbell was out of place, and it'd be difficult to move for anyone else at the crime scene. No one else touched it. But although all the other ones were neatly organized, this one was specifically out of place as if it had been quickly put back. And we were given the story that perhaps he had overdosed and had a heart attack and then fallen and hit his head on the weight. But now we also know that there wasn't actually cocaine in his bag. That the little bag of white residue was actually just flour. So he couldn't have had a heart attack from cocaine. And we also know in talking to the investigators, to the medical examiner, that it's odd that he, even though there was an injection where he would have potentially been injecting steroids, it's odd because it was a fresh point, and that he would have had to inject himself beforehand, and it's which is not how you do steroids,
right?
And would have interfered with his workout. So things are fishy here.
Correct.
And it is my turn. I believe that yes. I'm going to go for another interview.
Ooh, who are you going to talk to now?
I'm going to talk to the Clam. I'm going to talk to the boys.
All right, we're going to talk to the boys. So to establish the rest of the scene that we talked about, after Adrian committed the murder, he went and joined up with inebriated the Clam and Ghost Kicker to act as his alibi. They were too effed up to know exactly what time he joined.
All right. Let's see. So I'm going to draw 3 clues and pick one of them, and that's going to be the subject that we're going to learn about. So...
And while you're also talking about it, we'll say the Clam was almost just ran over by Adrian, who was trying to throw off the investigation by making it look like multiple wrestlers were being targeted.
Let's see. This is a redundant one because we were too deep into the same wavelength. So is it cool to redraw another clue?
Yes, of course.
Since unfortunately we again felt our home on too intensely and basically wrote the same clue for some of these. Let's see. It's going to be an investigation. I'm planning on talking to somebody, so what would I learn here? I'm going to pick that of these... Let's see. This is the one that I'm going to pick. All right. Number 4. Ooh. Gold wrecked his car last week, so nobody has seen the car that he drove to the scene of the crime before. So we're picking up on this scene. The Clam and Ghost Kicker have made their way, let's say, back to the offices, and like after doing some other investigating, the Chuckster is now looking to maybe talk to some of the boys. They pass each other, let's say, in a hallway. The flickering of fluorescent lights overhead bother Chuckster not at all because of the dark aviator shades that he cannot be observed without. So, coming by, he's deep in his thought in his mind palace. As they pass each other, the Chuckster stops and does the Magane Dillon adjustment on the glasses. Turns around and says, "Wait, are you the clam?"
Yes, I am in fact the clam.
John F. Kennedy.
This is the only voice that I could think to do.
Mr. Clam, I'm a big fan. But I have do you have a minute? Can I ask you a couple of questions?
You're with the police, correct?
I'm not exactly with the police. I'm gonna reach in and take out my badge. I'm with the Department of Labor, actually.
The Department of Labor?
Yes, the Department of Labor. I'm in part of an elite investigative unit, and I'm hoping I could ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, I do have the time for you, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Chuckster.
Yes. That was my wrestling name back in the day. I'm surprised you knew that. No one's supposed to know about my history back in the Smoky Mountain territories. But anyway, I got a couple questions for you. And about some of the things that have been going on here. I regret to be the one to tell you that one of your coworkers passed on early this morning.
I had heard through the grapevine. We lost a great man in Johnny.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, Johnny has passed, so you've heard. But I do have a couple of questions about sort of the goings-on here at this fine establishment of the wrestling enterprise and industry. So,
the WEE?
The wrestling enterprise industry?
Oh, WEI.
The WEI.
Industry spelled with an E?
Yeah, it's industry with an E, so it's the WEE. The wrestling enterprise industry with an E. But I have a couple of questions about this. Have there been any strange occurrences or anything that has happened, anything eventful that might have led into these events? Anything at all?
You should have heard from the other coppers. I was nearly run down right out on the street over there.
What?
Yeah, me and Ghost Kicker were crossing over to make our way out, and a car I had not seen before. Some car came. I can't do this.
And some car that I had not seen before.
And some car that I had not seen before. I like your funny words, Magic Man. Some car I had never seen before nearly ran me over.
I'm just picturing the clam as John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, it's clone high John F. Kennedy with the weird shape. Except he has like a singlet on that just has a picture of a clam in the front.
That's what I was thinking. All right, so
if I had not landed on my round caboose, I surely would have taken like going to a southern. I surely would have taken an impactful injury.
So this is the first time I'm hearing of this. I'm sorry, but what can you recall about the car that nearly struck you?
It appeared to be a. I lose the accent every day. It appeared to be a luxury model that I had not seen before.
Huh, interesting. You haven't seen this before at all?
No, huh. It was. It looked like it was fresh off the lot.
Is there anyone that you can think of that would want to do you harm?
Not that I can think of, but I am beginning to think that there might be some sort of conspiracy against wrestlers. I might think I heard rumblings that our Johnny was no accident.
So you think that he might have been murdered? Is that what you're trying to say here?
I believe I was clearly an attempt was made on my life. And I believe the same may have happened for Johnny.
Also, Mr. Clam, This is a tangent. Can I ask where are you from? You
I
seem to be
am.
going through a couple of different accents at the moment.
I am from many places. I was gonna press the crunch button, but it wouldn't work on your side. You would just hear my normal voice.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, understandable. I guess that you guys are very protective about your histories and identities. Excuse me, I'm sorry for intruding. But so you've never seen this card before. You think that there might be a conspiracy against you all. Is Mr. Gold aware of this? Have you talked with this at all?
No, I have not spoken yet to Mr. Gold about this incident.
Now, if you were to see this car again, could you identify it?
I did not get a good look. I'm not even sure what color it was. I can't do it. I keep going to this southern accent.
Like, maybe that's part of the clam's backstory.
The clam.
Like, he's trying to say he's from the Mid-Atlantic, but really he's from, like,
Georgia.
Tennessee. Yeah, Georgia, and he keeps slipping between the accents.
The clam is going to be the most fleshed out character coming out of this.
Yeah, we're developing the clam. Alright, so now I know that, so we know that now he hadn't seen this car before, no one had seen this before, and he wouldn't be able to identify it. But maybe, so, yeah, I think that kind of resolves the clue, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Although I feel like...
So I kind of want to go backwards and tack on another little bit of to my previous scene. Just a little bit where, like, Adrian pulls into a car dealership. The car salesman's like, "Oh, you're back again already? What's the matter?" He's like, I gotta return this. I don't like it. It's no good. It's too colorful. It's like a gray car." So he immediately exchanges that car, the same one that he drove to the murder and the one that he attempted to run down the clan with a brand new car. So he's made multiple exchanges at this car place.
All right, so he's made multiple exchanges at the car place. All right, that sounds good to me. All right, it is a murderer scene.
A murderer scene. Go back. Okay, I think I'm gonna have a conversation with the detective. I think it's my turn to draw face down clues and bring one of them up. See, through the new guy, you can bring a new clue to their attention in order to explain test out evidence. Away. Draw 3 face down clues. Turn. Justify how you couldn't have possibly been involved by using it to answer a question in your way to preserve your story. So,
right, so you pull up a clue, but you want to frame it as something that's like, this is why I couldn't have done it.
Yes. Okay, so this one will work for me then. I am going for... Only other person in the promotion who knows about Johnny's secret gym is Mick Mercury himself.
All right.
So I think we have the scene, we come back in, like, Adrian literally, like, comes around the block from the other direction in his new car, returns to the building in a fancy new sedan.
I'm gonna take off the glasses so I can be Mick Mercury.
So he comes in. He's having it's a conversation with the detective. So So he comes back into the front doors of the WEE. And he's coming up. He catches sight of the Chuckster while it's still in the hall after he's talked to the clam.
Yeah.
I imagine he's been, I don't know, lingering around, talking, making some other small talk. Looking for
in the mind palace. He's doing it. He's doing all the mind palace stuff.
Yeah, or he's just standing there in his mind.
The clam
palace.
has since moved on. Actually, like several minutes ago, just like, are you good, dude? And then just kind of walked away.
Yeah. So Adrian spots him there. He comes like, "Hey, pal!" Runs up to him out of breath. "Oh, thank God! I'm glad I caught you here. There's something I needed to talk to you about. I've been thinking.
What's up?
Yeah, let's talk private. I don't want the boys to hear about this. So just pulls them to the side a little bit.
Would you like to go somewhere more private? Maybe go back to your office.
Step to the side over here. Get out of the way.
Right.
You don't need to go to the office. This will be real quick. Some good shit, I think.
Good shit, you say?
That's right. So he pulls Chuck to the side, talk to him some more. Change once again. So he grabs Chuck. He's like, "Oh, I've been thinking. I don't think any of the other boys knew where Johnny likes to hang out. He likes to keep secrets. He likes to keep away from the prying eyes of the public. However, he's been working a program with him. We're working a rivalry, fighting a lot with Mick Mercury. And I so happened to realize when I was talking to Mick knew about Johnny's gym. He's the only guy that knew about that sort of place."
See, I know. I've heard the wrestlers are very protective of the trade secrets where they work out and all that.
That's right. I told him. I think it might have been the case where Mick knew. See, Johnny, he's not too, but he might have told him because I have an ownership stake in Gold Gym, the chain, that my wrestlers get discounts for working there. They're pumping iron there. But that goal, that's not my goal. That's different. There's a legal dispute pending.
It must be very confusing for you.
It is, and I think Johnny got confused as well. We frequently went to that Gold's Gym where he gets no discount. And Mick knew about this. Mick didn't want to embarrass him, didn't want to make him feel bad, so he never told any of the other boys.
I hope, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to have a word with Mick Mercury.
I think you should.
I'm going to have a word with Mick. Thank you for this information.
Wait, no, you shouldn't. Wait, I changed my mind. I don't want you to talk to Mick. I'll talk.
You don't want me to talk to Mick? Why not?
No,
Seems like you might be a person of interest in this case.
I changed my mind again. You should talk to Mick.
All right. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you have a good one, pal.
Yeah.
Catch you in the funny papers.
In the funny papers. I'll see you there. I'll see you there as well. We zoom out. I'm gonna go, and so I guess we now go to. We have a bunch of different things here, and I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna go interview Mick Mercury.
Okay.
It seems like that's the natural thing to do. And then I think from there we might be able to get some more information and start be able to tie some of the mystery together.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to start committing some evidence or committing some clues to evidence.
I think I think after this conversation, this scene, I think we'll be set to start moving into a finale.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm very thorough about my investigations here at the Department of Labor.
This is serious business.
It is serious business. All right, so I'm still waiting. We're still at the ring. Mick Mercury, the scene opens. Mick Mercury is in the locker room. He's putting his stuff away. He's having a rough time. Clearly very emotional. He's lost his friend. And the Chuckster, I'm going to come in again looking completely out of place with a perfectly pressed suit and ridiculous sunglasses. Actually, maybe not that out of place in a wrestling promotion. And I'm gonna come in and I see in there. Mick is a wreck. Got his head in his hands. He's on the end of the bench in the locker room, and he's looking bad. And the Chuckster comes up upon him and says, "Are you Mick Mercury?"
Yeah, brother. I'm the Merkster.
All right, thank you, but don't call me brother. We're not that close.
Sorry,
my name is Chuck Morgan.
Jack.
With Chuck Morgan, I'm with the Department of Labor. I'm here to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have some time?
Yeah, I got nothing else going on tonight.
So I've been informed here that there is a potential some issues going on, and your employer, Adrian Gold, has told me that maybe we should have a couple of words. It says that you were the only person who would have known that one. See, what was his name? Was it, yeah, there we go. That Johnny the Anaconda Venice. That you knew that he was going to the wrong Gold's Gym, and that you were the only person that knew. I'm sorry. Trust me. I will keep this secret to my grave. But between you and me, I've spoken with the clan as well, and it seems like there might be a conspiracy here. I'm starting to think that someone might be targeting wrestlers, and I'm wondering, are you really the only one who would have known that the Anaconda was working out at the wrong gym?
I feel like as Chuck is explaining this, Mercury picks his head up, he kind of puts his hands on his chin, kind of slack-jawed. He has that faraway look, but he turns his head away. Mm-hmm. So only the audience can see him being like, oh, hell, I gotta make a moral choice. I gotta have morals or something, or not have morals.
Oh, no, brother. I'm unjustifiably in a position I would rather not be in.
So what was the question at the end of the...
The question at the end was, is McMurcury really the only person that would know about that? Like in the clue, it says that the only other person in the promotion who knows about Johnny's secret gym is McMurcury. But is that the case? I'm trying to get some information about the conspiracy, because I also now know that Adrian Gold knew about it as well.
Yes. So as we know from the previous scene, Mick was the one that told Adrian where to find Johnny. And Mick is realizing this. Mick has already probably put together that Adrian is the one that did the job, but now he realizes that if Adrian gets pinched, this might be the end of the promotion, and it might be the end of Mick's meal ticket. But this clearly implicates Mick. So I think he's gonna just avoid the question. He's not gonna say anything for a while. He's just gonna stand up off the end of that bench, just kind of pace a little bit, not making eye contact with Chuck as he kind of try and internally deliberates what he's gonna say.
It's a complicated choice.
You needed to pull clues for this, didn't you?
I probably did. Let's see. Interview. Let's see.
I'm just gonna untick 6 because I know 6 is the same as 1.
Yeah. Let's see.
You only have 4 to pick from.
Let's see. Okay, so I only have 4 to pick from. Let's just 6, 8 is already done. 15. 7 is not done. Okay. Just gotten out of rehab and he had sworn off drugs. That's fair. Mick would know that. They were close. They were friends.
Mick would be aware at the same time as well.
All right, so we're discussing right now about whether or not. So we're now confirming that Mick knows that is the one who actually told Adrian where to find Johnny, meaning that the only other person who would have known where he was that night is Adrian. And we're gonna find, and I'm gonna bring up the cocaine residue as well.
Okay, so I think
so my thought here is now, this is the chance to talk to Mick. Mick is the person who can kind of actually give an image of who Johnny is. But we're saying there's cocaine residue in the bag, but Mick's gonna say, is thinking, no, that can't be, because Johnny was clean. He had gotten out of rehab. He was totally not into it, which means the bag wasn't his to begin with.
Yes.
And that's gonna cast doubt on Adrian's story that it's these wrestlers, they're all there, they're all on these drugs, or they were gonna he's gonna make this heel turn, but then the fact there's cocaine residue in the bag means that it couldn't have actually been the Anaconda's bag in the first place.
Yes. So what I was thinking before you said that, I was thinking like, because like Mick's in a panic because he's kind of aware that it's either him or Adrian that and it's like, so he comes up with a quick face. Oh, he's like, no, brother, you know that Mick was on the stuff. He was on the special snow. I bet his hookup knew where he worked out. So yeah, nobody else in the promotion knew that's where you'd find him, but brother, I assure you, I'm not mixing up my gruff man voices.
You're getting into the so now we're taking this in the direction that Mick is trying to cover for Adrian.
Yes.
Is that it?
I mean, he's panicking. He's trying to he's covering for Adrian a bit, but with a clue we know is fake.
With a clue that we now know is fake. All right. Oh man, Mick is going down too now.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to interject because like I mean we know that the clue isn't fake, but we know what Mick is saying is a lie based on the clue that we have.
So I need to the point that I was trying to go for here was that over the course of the scene, Chuck has to find out that Jesse had just gotten out of rehab. I'm just going to keep calling him the Anaconda. The Anaconda had just gotten out of rehab. And then he would find this out because he would mention we had this conversation about the gym. This is where we get to this clash where now Mick is kind of like, I did tell Adrian where he works out.
Yeah.
So he's not actually the only person, and Adrian didn't mention that. So that's suspicious. But then Chuck is going to bring up the bag of the bag with the trace of cocaine in the flour and ask if they were actually that he was as a big fan of the Anaconda. He wanted to know why the Anaconda was turning heel, what that storyline was going to be like. And it's like, what do you mean? He wasn't Mick would be surprised he was never going to turn heel. Okay. That wasn't part of the deal. And also there was no way he could have had a bag with cocaine residue in it because he doesn't do cocaine. That was my thought, at least. I don't know what your feelings are there.
I was thinking in a way that like Mick tries to cast out with things that we already know can't be true. Like, oh, he was on cocaine, so his dealer knew. No, that can't be the case because he just got out of rehab. It's like, oh, probably his rehab sponsor probably knew where he worked. It's like, that seems highly unlikely just based off of the circumstance of like he's been out for a while or something, and then like he has to slow like. Now I've lost my thread.
Yeah. Well, like I think we're both trying to like really put this together. So, Mike, let's see.
I mean, there's the other option that like I've grabbed the stick by the wrong end here, and Mick is he's too much of a brickhead and says like, no, the boss knew where he worked out. The boss knows everything, or something like that.
That works. That works really well. So boss knew where he works out. That clears that up, and then I'll bring up the cocaine as well, and then maybe at that point Mick is like, oh no, he didn't do drugs.
Oh, he didn't do drugs. No, I was the one who was gonna turn heel. Something like that.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That it was Mick that was gonna turn heel. I see. Okay, I like that. So should we walk through that?
Yeah, we can go that way.
And then I'll move into committing stuff to evidence, like during my next couple of turns. All right. Yeah. So I walk in, I talk to Mick, and I now bring this up, and I say, I heard from Adrian Gold that you were the only one who would have known in the production that would have known about that Johnny was working at the wrong Gold's gym. Is that true? Or is there anyone else who might have had that information?
Brother, I can't do the two different voices. Brother. Snake. No, I figure the boss would have known, wouldn't he? Boss kind of knows everything about all the guys.
That's true. He did tell me to come talk to you. Told me about the legal dispute between Gold's Gym and Gold's Gym. God, that's confusing.
You're telling me.
I am, brother. I just did.
Wait. Don't call me brother if I can't call you brother.
Okay, brother. You can call me brother.
All right, brother.
So, I have one more point, though. Thank you for clearing that up. There is one detail that's bothering me. One thing. So I'm hearing And then I don't know how to bring this up, but I think you were close to the anaconda, correct?
Yeah, you could say we were buddies.
There was a bag found with his things. It was a bag of flour, of all things. Adrian says that this is part of you were thinking about maybe doing a storyline where he turns heel, so it's doing a pocket sand gimmick.
What? No. I was wondering what happened to that damn bag of flour. We were supposed to use it in the match I had with Johnny last night, or the last match Johnny had. I misplaced it somewhere. I never figured it would have been in his bag.
There is one more thing I'd like to run by you here. We also we ran a chemical screening. We found that there was some evidence of cocaine residue in the bag. You know anything about that?
That bag's been passed around the locker room. Gets reused a lot from the props department and stuff like that, brother. I wouldn't know anything about its origins or what was in that bag beforehand. I just know I put flour in it at some point.
All right. Now, was Johnny using cocaine? Do you know?
No, Johnny's been clean for months now.
All right.
I wouldn't let him stay in my elaborate summer home in Florida if he was on the juice or the powder or the gas, whichever one of those, whatever state of matter he was in.
He tails off. Chuck puts his hand on his shoulders. I'm sorry for your loss, brother.
I appreciate it, brother.
But I think I've got some. I think I've got something. I got some gears turning here. I need to go back into my mind palace, and then we can end the scene. And with Chuck just standing there with his hand on Mick's shoulder, and Mick is just very confused. Like, "Are you okay, brother?"
Yeah, and he's a big brick house idiot, so he's like also too polite to be like, "Oh, I can't disturb him. I'm stuck here until he decides to move on his own."
Yes, that's all the scene.
All right, that works.
Yeah, that works. So now we know that. All right, I think we're getting to something like a finale.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing would be like, I'll do a scene, then you can do something, commit the next clue to evidence, and then maybe we can commit the second clue in the finale.
Can you commit in the finale?
No, but we don't have to play by the rules.
Okay, let's do that. I know we've been at it for a while with production and everything, so I don't know if you wanted to try to wrap it up.
I didn't want to keep you long because I know I quoted him like, yeah, this will take like 90 minutes, and now we're going close to over double that.
I'm having fun.
As long as you're having fun, then we can keep going, and you're the only one.
Yeah, but maybe we should just start steering toward wrapping it up.
Yes.
I was thinking that I think we also have a good story here. That's Adrian keeps trying to push Chuck in these directions, and now they aren't really working out. You've got the clan who's saying there's this whole conspiracy, but now after talking to Mick, it seems like, no, it doesn't seem like that's the case. We know that Johnny didn't use cocaine. We know that he wasn't turning heel. That wasn't his bag. And we also have kind of the mysterious stuff around the bar being disturbed and all that. So I think we have some stuff here. And also just Adrian's own lies, I think are gonna undo him here.
Continually spin out of control.
Because he's the only other person that also knew that Johnny was working out there. And Mick didn't have the bag, so it had to be somebody who knew about the bag in the first place. Because if it was Mick's flour, so all right, here's how it ends up. They had this idea. Mick was going to turn heel. He's got this bag of flour. The bag of flour goes missing. Adrian is the only other person that knew about the bag of the flour and also knew about the thing, but he didn't know maybe that Johnny had gotten out of rehab. So with the cocaine residue there, he didn't know about that, and so we know that Adrian is the only other person who knew about the bag, who knew about that, and knew about the gym.
I love the other part about this that I love is that if Adrian doesn't know that Johnny got out of rehab, it's the implication that Adrian knows literally nothing about the people that work for him.
I mean, just like the person he's based.
Yeah, basically.
And he's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's a big deal. He's got a lot of things going on.
we could have we could do another scene, and then we could even just like jump to the finale, and like I could lay this out, and then say you're under arrest.
I mean, yeah. At this point, there's only like 3 clues left, so you just have like the whole clue smorgasbord and just put it all together at once.
Yeah, that works. I think. Let's do that.
Okay, so did we want to do more scenes before going to the finale, or?
I mean, either of us can initiate the finale.
That's true.
But I mean, it's up to you. I mean, like, I'm still having fun. This is actually a blast for me. I love this kind of stuff.
Yes, this has been good. I have a harder time doing this like over spoken voice. I'm used to doing it just like writing and having no time limit. Just be like, all right, I'll post this tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're doing improv right now, and that is hard. And we're doing improv over voice via VTubers. So we don't even have body language really to work with.
We just have our own wiggling and sunglass shifting. Our own the physics on the things on the top of our head. Actually, I don't think my frills have. I think I got bored before I did that.
You're bored to the frill physics?
I don't think so. A little bit maybe.
Physics. My hat wiggle.
My ribbon has more physics. But yeah, I think is the I wanted to have reveal more clues. I don't want to make more clues.
I think one of the bummers here, just like in how we set this up, I think we were 2 in 2.
Yes.
Because some of the clues that we came up with, like at least 2 or 3 of these are duplicates, or very near duplicates.
Yes, I think we discussed too much detail, and also we're 2 in tune on the opening murder. Let me try.
Like one of the things we didn't write anything about was the union.
That's true. We've literally never brought up the whole union. That's a
good
time
the union.
To bring this up.
The union angle hasn't come up yet because none of us put it in a clue, and it hasn't made sense to bring it up since then. I think for like a first time playing, this has been a lot of fun. I would definitely play this again.
Yes, I'd be glad to do this again. I would love to be able to do also his other game, the wrestling game.
I would. That sounds like so much fun
because it is a lot, pretty similar in terms of making bullshit up. All
right. So, but in terms of like the game itself, it is your turn.
Yes,
your turn, Miss Murderer.
I've been trying to think about what I want to do. What are the clues that we have flying around now? I think I just want to have another conversation. So let's see what is remaining on the list. Okay, I think I want to go. Oh, I think this would be good, but also like it. I love in Columbo when someone's like, I'm gonna cover something up, but instead I'm going to completely reveal some other shit. So let's go.
Like when Reagan did it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the mask that that Adrian wore when he tried to run down the clam is in the inventory for the company, and only limited people have access, including Gold himself. However, we also know that bag, as Mick said, the bag of cocaine also came out of the company inventory.
Yes. All right.
So I think maybe we advance a day. So, be like, let's. I want it to be like the next day. Maybe Mick and Chuck have been standing there the entire like 12-hour cycle. Like, so at some point again, like Adrian gets in his car at the end of the day to drive off, and he sees the mask there, and he goes, "God damn it! I forgot to get rid of it." or rather, he left the mask in the previous car, so he has to go back to the car dealer like the next night or overnight, break into the car that he returned to get the mask back, and then attempt to return the mask. But I think like he waits to try and do that like the next day. So
maybe he gets caught on a security camera or something.
Maybe. I was thinking more like the next day he goes and tries to find Chuck again. He's like, hey pal, I got some more stuff to talk to you about. We got critical new evidence to enter into the
That's very helpful of you. What is it?
I took my car back to the dealership the other day. Had a little problem that I wanted to get while still under warranty. And when I was driving by on the street, I just happened to see someone had thrown this into the bush, and he brings out that lucha mask. So I heard when the clam, they tried to run him down. They drove towards they drove towards my dealer. And it just so happened that this mask came out. This mask, nobody can get to this mask. This mask is in our props department. This mask is warehoused and inventoried and tagged in our system.
Are you trying to tell me that you think that someone in the production might have tried to murder the clam?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking somebody in the company might have tried to run down the clam.
I can't believe someone tried to bake the clam.
I'm thinking whoever tried to do that to the clam, he's your guy for Johnny.
I see, sir.
That's just my interpretation. You know, I don't know.
I imagine Mick is still they're still standing in the same place. Like Mick is
now
co-opting
Chuck
this
comes
conversation
out of the
just
Mind
'cause-
Palace.
Yeah.
Looks to him and says, "Thank you, sir. But I also have. Could you cut to confrontation?
Oh yeah.
If we can end the scene here and go right to the finale." As Chuck comes out of the Mind Palace, "Thank you for your cooperation. It's been very helpful. But there is one more thing I'd like to tell you. You're under arrest."
What are you getting at, pal?
"For the murder of Johnny the Anaconda Venice."
That's not happening tonight. That's not happening any night. What are you talking about?
It's happening tonight, right here in this ring. You see, there's a couple things that have been bothering me. You see, from the moment I walked in there, I noticed that there was the barbell that Johnny had fallen on was disturbed. It didn't make any sense to me after all. Like if he was actually sitting down here, if he was putting down both of these barbells at the same time after a hard workout, and his heart had just given out, why was only one of them moved? It didn't make any sense. And those were heavy barbells. It had to be somebody pretty strong, someone powerful, more powerful than the average Department of Labor employee to move that. And so it got me thinking that maybe this wasn't altogether a clean operation. This wasn't what it looked like. And then there was that bag of flour, he said. "Well, I talked to Mick here." Mick is fast asleep because I've talked to Mick here, and actually it seems that there was no intention for the Anaconda to turn heel. Why? And I'm curious, if you really know everything about this production, why would you tell me that? It was actually Mick was the two of them. It was Mick's turn to go heel.
It's real.
I'm afraid that wrestling might not be real, but your crime sure as hell is. After all, Mick was also the only one who would have known where that Johnny worked out at the wrong Gold's Gym, but you were the person who told me, so you had to be like someone else who knew that.
I knew that because you found him at the wrong gym, god damn it!
No, I don't believe that for a second. And now, pulling us all together is that whole bag. Did you not know that Johnny had recently gotten out of rehab?
What?
So that bag could not have been his.
What? But Johnny loved the power. He loved the.
No,
What are you getting
I'm
at,
sorry,
pal?
sir. You don't know as much about these wrestlers as you think you do. Johnny didn't love the powder. He loved Flintstones, vitamins, and prayers. But I'm gonna reach out and take the lucha mask from his hand. this mask that you just tried to give me is going to seal this case. Because if only you have access to this as well, don't you?
I was carrying this. I walked in with this. There's no way I came from the props department. Ask the doorman.
No, it's not the mask that I'm interested in. It's not like when the mask was moved. It's the bag of flour that's bothering me. Because not only he wasn't on the juice. It's like, which means that if someone tried to set that up in his bag, it's like he wasn't turning heel. He wasn't sniffing snow. But only someone who knew where he worked, like that he was working out there, but didn't know that he had kicked the funny snow, would have possibly thought to plant that there. I'm afraid you're the only person in this production that fits that bill.
Just imagine Adrian has the far away, the look he got when Johnny just first turned him down, where he can't understand like why this is happening or like what's going.
Oh, you got it. You got it mixed. Johnny was gonna blow the whole operation. Someone else had to advise him. Somebody was jealous what he was making.
I don't think so, sir. The only person that seems to want to have knocked off Johnny here would have been someone who stood to lose. And I've like, let's see. Oh no, shit. We never talked about the union. God damn it!
So we don't know the union. We got the premise and then immediately just like forgot. Like, yeah, there's wrestling and cocaine.
Okay, I'm wrapping this up through the power of the International Labor Mind Meld. As the agent of the Department of Labor, maybe Chuck is aware of the unionization effort. Being a psychoanalytic Department of Labor member, and I have a flashback to the unionization effort that I heard about how's that?
Oh, that's where
the union hive mind.
I'm going back in editing. That talk previously, where we before the clam got ran down, it was actually it was a union busting talk. Included
Pinkerton.
In that. We'll pretend that is part of when the clam was talking about that. He brought in, like, after we talked about the union, anti-union stuff.
I see. Okay, so that there was this is all like a framing job to make it seem like the person was the murderer was anti-union.
Yes.
And trying to stop the unionization effort.
Yeah, the murderer was anti-union. The murderer was gonna lose. It was all of his money. His whole promotion was gonna go down the toilet.
The only person that stands to lose from when labor wins are the bosses. Adrian Gold, you're under arrest for crimes like for murder and anti-union activities. And I'm gonna take out my big 80s cell phone and call in the cops to arrest him.
I'm trying to come up with a line where it's like who's gonna lose either way.
It's always gonna be a double count out.
Adrian, just a word of advice. You should have let the union rock. When labor wins, everyone wins.
No!
And he just imagine confronted with union, Adrian just turns to dust, but that's not an entirely
turns to dust.
I mean, it's a satisfying resolution, but it's not the resolution we need.
How about the cops come in, they arrest Adrian, and as everyone's wrapping up, takes off the glasses and disappears.
Turns to smoke.
Turns into smoke and vanishes. Adrian, who cannot be observed without his glasses, fades back into the labor dimension. How's that?
That works.
It's fun.
That was fun.
I know I think that if we were to do it again, yeah, we already talked about it, of just like keeping clues together and trying to make put more into, like I would have written a clue about the union pipeline instead of writing another one about the bag.
Right about the union. Probably should have like gone into like, there probably should have been a clue about the motive.
That would have been smart. But
I feel like that's what we completely, both of us, just blinked on.
We completely overlooked making sure there was a clue about the motive somewhere.
Yeah, I think that'd be a nice, like, a bullet point to be like, there should be at least one clue about the motive and one clue about the other stuff.
Yeah. But for all said and done, I think we did okay for just trying to improv a murder mystery.
Yeah, and we didn't do the one of the prefabs beforehand.
Yeah, I think we did it. That was a successful trip down murder mystery lane.
Yes, I agree. I think all we needed to do was get it in editing, add some of the union stuff, and it would have been a perfect episode.
No, it was actually, no, honestly, this is, the bones here are very good. You got the anti-union plot line, you've got the boss who's disconnected from his workers, so he doesn't know, and he tries to frame the guy with drugs and not realizing that the guy's been off drugs. You got the solidarity between Mick Mercury and Johnny, the Anaconda Venice, where Mick comes together and gives that critical insight into his comrade, his comrade in labor, and that the boss, like, that exposes the boss's lies. Yeah. We got the Clam, who is the most fleshed out character in this whole thing.
The sequel will be about the Clam.
The Clam and Ghost Kicker.
Yeah, Ghost Kicker gets killed.
He becomes a ghost and then guides the Clam to career success.
This will be the wrestling one where we have the roster. We got the Clam, we got Ghost Kicker.
Yeah, I think you did a good job here.
We did. That's literally why I only said it would be perfect, because otherwise I think we did very well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, we can also play the wrestling one at some point. We can also play. We can at some point play the Uma Musume one that I am making up right now in my brain.
What? Dare I ask what the Uma Musume one is?
You just play as horses.
Oh.
Horses that are also girls, that are also idols, that are also gay.
Okay, so I'm gonna float this right now.
Okay.
One of my preferred favorite, like, tabletops here is Lasers and Feelings.
Oh, I love Lasers and Feelings.
Good. What if we just made a hack of Lasers and Feelings that's like horseshoes and something else, and it's Uma
horseshoes and stage lights or something.
Yes.
The dichotomy of sports and also being idols.
Yes. And then you
are two rivals who are horses who are also gay.
Yes, exactly. Then we can figure out something to do with that. Some sort of catastrophe in the Uma Musume facility to resolve.
I think this is brilliant. We need to get to work on this immediately. And also, I don't know if you shared it, but your brilliant work on Macho Musume.
Macho Musume? Let's see, I can bring that up really quick. Turn off the display so I can launch Krita and not reveal everything else that's in my file system at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I've done that.
Yeah, I think I might have done that yesterday while playing Kirby, but I haven't bothered to check the VOD yet.
Yeah, it happens.
It'd be that way. But I was gonna say, I've written a Toho hack of Lasers and Feelings called Bullets and Frills. So making an Uma Musume one shouldn't be too hard.
That sounds Bullets and Frills sounds like a lot of fun. Uma Musume is so great.
It is really good.
It's entirely too good. It has no reason to be that good.
I really need to read Cinderella Grey.
You do actually need to read Cinderella Grey. It's like, it goes entirely too hard for what it is.
That's what it looks like from the screen caps.
It's just like a very intense sports series, and there's like one or two panels that ever mention anything with the idol stuff, and then everything else is just like horses threatening each other.
Just like real life.
Macho Musume!
Macho Musume.
What if Macho Man Randy Savage was a horse? Yeah, when we are, I think one of the other hats that we ran into here was that we are too attuned.
Yes.
And ended up making kind of that I can't believe we had the same plot line even. The wrestlers are unionizing.
It's like literally like we need a reason. Like, oh, clearly this is obvious.
good times.
It was fun. I'd love to play that game again. I'd love to maybe try and possibly organize that, just like not as a stream, but as do it with some other people like in the Discord.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Because then we could at least have like 2 other people. Like we could do it with like at least 4 people. So then there's 2 people doing murder, 2 people doing detective. So
I think that would be a lot of fun, actually, to have like more collaboration between it. Where you have like 4 people working on it. Like it makes it into almost like a team game.
yeah,
It does make it into a team game. Yeah, but this was still like for 2 people that decided to make up their own story about a murder at a wrestling promotion without having played this game before. I think a pretty good job.
I agree. I'm happy with the work we've done here today.
Yeah, good work. Great. It was a great game. Great experience. Thank you again for having me, for agreeing to do this goofy idea with me.
Well, thank you as well. I'm glad we could. Glad you're still interested in doing things with me after the Axe Wizard issues of yesteryear.
There has never been a time that we have played a game together where I have not had a great time.
All right, let me start the Parsec server and we can.
Don't you dare launch Gundam Battle 2.
Fine.
I'm not playing Zeong Mirrors again.
But that's. Fine.
All right, how about this? Even if it's off stream, we should play Gundam Evolution at some point, because I played a little bit of it today and it's mad fun.
Okay, I literally just installed it. I was probably gonna play it some tonight.
You do have to play like a tutorial beforehand. That it's a little bit lengthy, just to teach you how the game works. But it is. The 1 or 2 games I did play were very fun. I didn't think that Gundam Team Fortress 2 was going to be a thing that would work, but Turn A Gundam does the throw, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's basically all I want to do is pick Turn A Gundam and do Tomoe.
You can do Tomoe to people!
That's literally all that I did in Gundam Versus, was just like, okay, I need to get close and I need to do Tomoe.
I was playing Guntank earlier, because Guntank is my true passion. And it is every bit as goofy as you would think it is.
I mean, it's Guntank.
I mean, of course it's Guntank. You could, I'm surprised, like, in the right. And this is like a tangent that we're going on, but it is fun, and you get to do stuff. Barbados is just like going buck wild, jumping around and hitting things, which it absolutely should be.
A massive.
Exia is just Genji from Overwatch.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, it's really fun. All right. Well, I guess we can end here. And the great Macho Musume. I had a great time. I guess I could plug my pluggables if that's cool.
Plug your pluggables.
Yeah, so my Twitter is there. I make at least 1 good tweet a week. Sometimes multiple. On a good week. And yeah, there's my Twitch link, which is also up here. And I also thank you, Icey, for again hosting and going through all this and putting all the extra effort into the Ace Attorney soundtrack and all that. And also thank you to everyone that's watching, because that's it's always viewers that make this kind of stuff fun.
Thank you all for watching and having your input in bringing up the clam.
Like for helping us flesh out the clam's backstory.
We'll be back with more clam antics one day.
This idea is anything but half-baked.
Okay, so I believe with that I'm gonna
Streamed clams.
Streamed. I might have to add a clam emote.
Well, this is the intense lore development. This is how things happen, though. You get a stream, you have a conversation, things happen. Before you know it, your Discord has a Bon Jovi sticker.
The Bon Jovi sticker.
Mr. Bon Jovi.
The one thing we missed is we need to the next mystery has to wrap back around to Bon Jovi or something.
I think everything Bon Jovi is historical singularity. Everything will always come back to Mr. Jovi. All right, but yeah, I think we can.
Yes, I'm gonna kick off a raid to Tom because I believe he's building Lego.
Well, let's go to Lego.
Let's go to Lego. I'm gonna say bye-bye, MS Dos Vidania. See you all
Good night.
later.
Good night. Schlaf gut.